Yeah, but we're good. We're fine. Everything is normal, and we are set and ready to go for our first match when both of our combatants have readied on up. In fact, in the time it's taken to get this all set up, Ghost has already taken out Kef Goody by 2 points to nil, so Ghost is already through into round 2. We are getting our matchup started. The fourth Moshpit is about to be underway. And there we go. Yam on the left-hand side of your screen, coming in as Min Min. Tanji on the right, coming in as Ninjara. Here on Temple Grounds, it is the Phoenix and the Ice Dragon versus the Triblast and the Birdchuck.
Okay, let's see. So, just for disclaimer, I'm currently using the Discord screen share, and bitrate is not holding up right now. That's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do see Yam's Min, so there's at least that.
Yeah, it unfortunately is going to be like this. So off we go, and Yam already being knocked down by Tanji, who's really showing up some nice little picks here with the Ninja. Actually, not gonna lie, does finally get tagged by the Ice Dragon, allows Min Min to get that Phoenix charged up on the left hand side with that big old dragon arm. Can only really be disarmed at this point by knocking Min Min down. A grab will do it too, but that is Tanji just being a nuisance to hit at this stage.
Yeah, I just love Yam's use of the dragon arm in general, just in order to stop the movement from his opponent. Allows him to more easily charge his left arm and stuff like that. Ooh, and a nice grab here.
Yeah, good grab as well. Just keeping Tanji in the corner. Tries to go for the rush, but not going to happen this time around, and gets knocked down by the Birdchuck anyway. Now it's Tanji's turn, and actually catches them on the bounce as well. Really good pincer from Tanji, and that's exactly how you want to do it.
Very good catch here with the rush. And now Tanji is way more into the match all of a sudden. Yam is on the back push right now. He's in critical. It's gonna, but then again, it's Yam, so we can't count him out yet.
Yeah, but I think this point will be done and dusted. No way they're going to be able to get anything back with that. Tanji wisely just backs on up, has the health lead, and nets.
There's just no time.
Yeah, nets that initiative for the time being. But it is still early days. It is just still the first point, and it hasn't been fully sealed just yet. Immediately starts with a chill on that Ice Dragon. Actually switches out to the Scully on the Dragon arm this time round. So much lighter arm. Stacks in with that poison. Can go up to 3 times providing it hits charged. And obviously, because it is incredibly fast, it's also incredibly light. There's 1 stack, and that Ninja is not going to light that in the slightest. Make that 2. Not gonna fall it for a hat trick though, and quickly pings Yam down.
Scully is such a fast arm. I really like this choice in order to get to poking way more, which I feel like Tanji has been doing a lot as well thanks to the Triblast. So very good counter pick here in my opinion.
Yeah, and a good counter rush as well, catching Tanji off guard. And the Ice Dragon does so much damage as the rush as well, so massive, massive good counter play from Yam. And another 1-2 chain to boot.
I mean, it's a giant laser. Of course it's going to do lots of damage, but you never really expect it, in a way. It's weird. And now Tanji's on the back foot in the second round. It's going to be very tough for him to come back from that.
Yeah, manages to get another hit with the Triblast though, and actually putting a lot of pressure on Yam. Goes for the rush, not quite able to get it. Could break the arm though, does break the arm. It's a little bit of damage, but it gives Yam the rush advantage, and well, any hit from Tanji will likely take Yam down unless it's... Well, no, actually, I think both of those weapons... Is it enough of a health lead, though? With 10 seconds to go, here comes the rush, but Yam isn't going to hit. No, it does! Get a single point of damage, and that will do it! No, it doesn't! It's a... Yes! It's a double! It's a double KO!
Double KO!
In the second point of the first round, we have a double KO from Tanji and Yam. Are you absolutely...
What a way to start the Moshpit.
We really have saved the best region to last, haven't we? It's been an age since I've seen one of those. And well, straight back into the fray we go.
Just don't look at the Arms Territorial League results. This is the best region, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious me. So
the weird thing with double KOs and arms as well is that it doesn't count the point, unlike like most other fighters. So we're still going. It's not a win for Tanji.
Oh my goodness me, it absolutely isn't. Not yet. Tanji does still have that point initiative, but Yam will not be wanted to let that slide anytime soon. Gets another counter rush today. Yes, they do, just about. 295 damage. Notice the fact that the Scully is where the Ice Dragon is, and now they've brought the Phoenix back into the fray, and it's working much better for Yam at this point.
It's definitely working much better. And obviously, the space control is not going to be as strong without the Ice Dragon, but it's still going to be very scary seeing that Scully go up in your face so fast.
Yeah, Tanji really having a much harder time dealing with it this time around, trying to pin Yam into the corner, but Yam doesn't really mind it as much this time around. The time is ticking away, and Yam has practically a full health bar here. Doesn't quite have Rush ready, and Tanji knows full well they're going to have to make full use of that at this point. Gets another freeze. The shield is up for Yam, and Yam knows they've pretty much got this in the bag. Nothing that the Rush could do. It'll break, yes, but it won't be enough damage. What? No!
I think it was no way! No way!
You!
How in the hell? Here we go again!
I do not scratch your eyes. You are seeing the most unreal moment here. How is that a joke?
I don't know. I don't know. Double Q into draw. Why? How? This is the first match of round 1. How? All I'm gonna say is Yam is not happy right now about that result. We're going to round 4, and then there's round 5 potentially. It's like, how?
Oh. Well, Yam again in a position where they have the full health bar. And they have it. I say they have a lead, but Tanji has managed to claw it back again from that previous one. So never say never. And I think Yam very much aware of the fact that they're going into the corner again. Yam keeps being forced into this position, which isn't helping them in the slightest. Another freeze hit with the Birdchuck. Arm weak on the right hand side. Gets wailed down with another 1-2 combo. Another Triblast hit. Tanji is still bringing this back. Yam has not learned from the previous 2 points here. We have 30 seconds on the clock. Tanji is a hit away from going down. Anything will do it for Yam at this point. Even the Rush finally activates it, but can't hit it. They can't hit it! Tanji could do it! No, they can't! They finally get hit! The point goes to Yam!
Okay, that's... How? Like... Okay, sure.
And that's it! It ends in a draw!
It ends a draw!
That is the first time in my history of casting arms that a match has ended with no points!
You get no points given! We might have to actually call back with Rifa to know if it's no points given or 1-1.
I don't believe this. I don't think I've ever seen this happen in my life.
Insane. This is insane.
Oh my god. Are you absolutely kidding me? It is rare that I am left speechless in an esports match. I've been commentating since February 2018. This has never happened before.
I still can't process that.
The first match of the Moshpit 4 competition for Europe ends with a point for Tanji, a double KO, a draw, and then a Yam. But I cannot. Could somebody clip this entire thing and send this over to Nintendo? Because I don't even think they'd believe this.
Yeah, I don't understand. I still don't understand.
Oh my god.
And we are being informed that we might be replaying the match.
No. No.
Well, that.
Can they both just go through? Can we have a triple threat in the next round? Yeah,
a 2v1.
a tournament stream first. It'll be Ghost versus Yam versus Tanji in a triple threat. No, I obviously jest. That is definitely not how this goes. I can't believe that. If this was for like the winners final of the underground final of the grand, dear Lord, could you imagine the scene? This is round 1. This doesn't happen on round 1. Round 1s are normally 2-0, done and dusted. We move on to round 2. Not this. This is this is a finale match of.
This is the first match.
Oh my.
Tanji just double trolled Yam, and we've never seen Tanji before.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think anybody will be forgetting the name Tanji for quite a while after this. Oh, oh my goodness. So the replay is back up. It is still 0-0. We assure you, you're not seeing things. We are back at Temple Grounds because the match has to be replayed. Roaster and the hottest of slams for Min Min. It'll be on the Dragon Arm naturally. Versus that Triblast and the Birchuk, the tried and trusted for Tanji. And again, Tanji starting on that back foot. Yam is able to build up a lead, but it hasn't exactly worked out for them so far.
It hasn't worked out yet. But I do like the slam, like going around everything Ninjaru can throw at Min Min right now, but everything can happen apparently.
Yeah, the slam is definitely keeping Tanji at bay a lot longer, and Tanji again just running out of time and always seems to have a bad first half of the match and then starts to go back, but Yam is not having anything to do with it this time around. Already gets Tanji into critical, 30 seconds left on the clock, pretty much a full health bar at their disposal, one tap away for Tanji, and surely Tanji will not be coming back from this one this time around. Yam is just keeping the middle ground, keeping themselves in control, and that grab will finish things off.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering, is that perfect? I'm not sure.
Not quite, it was they took a little bit of chip damage earlier, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because I was about to say, if we get a perfect right after.
We would have had everything in this set, yeah, that would be, I think that might be the first set we'd have ever seen all three of those, but so far, Tanji is going to start off the much stronger this time around. Yam bringing in that roaster and the hot slam. So trying to go for all of this full-on firepower. Remember, the roaster is a fully manual arm, no guidance system on that whatsoever.
No aiming.
Yeah, Tanji has a much better start this time around.
I mean, look at that pressure with the Tri-Blast, honestly. If Tanji can just keep up the pressure, it's gonna be great. But Yam is no stranger to playing from behind as well. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, manages to get enough distance to get the slam charged back up to full potential, but Tanji does have the health lead. Anything could still change in this matchup because no matchup has been more true of that phrase than this one right here. And Tanji keeping the health lead for the time being, able to actually get away from the hot slaps this time around. The teleportation from Ninja coming up beautiful for them. If they manage to successfully block with their shield, that's exactly what you will see happen. And so far, despite Yam keeping this middle area, Tanji is still chipping away at damage. 30 seconds left on the clock. Tanji finally at the halfway mark, but crucially, Yam cannot take another point of damage. But there it is.
Yam is on his last point of health, and there it is, yeah. Here's the Birchuk just ending it off.
Yeah, the Birchuk be a nice, lovely, chilly fiend, and Yam is going to switch up their arms a little bit. We're bringing in the Parasol to this entire confrontation. Again, Tanji keeps with the Tri-Blast. And neither side really wants to be conceded the point after everything that just happened. But for Tanji, it will be one heck of a statement if they can officially take a game away from Yam. We had a fantastic start for them in the previous point. But can they bring this back? Shockingly enough, neither player seems to have popped their rush just yet. I don't think I've seen it come through this entire game.
I don't think, we've seen a rush, but given what happened before, it's kind of understandable. But still, Yam is going through the entire roster of arms right now in terms of the actual weapons. Trying to not give. Ooh, what a catch here!
Yeah, the Tri-Blast explosion just doing enough damage to catch Yam off of that. So no rush for them. It means Tanji does have the rush advantage if they can get into a decent position, but Yam is going to make life as difficult for them as possible, almost at the halfway mark. Here comes the rush now, but Yam is going to get clean out of the way. Chip damage and nothing more than that. Oh, weak on the left-hand side, so Tanji's pressure starting to pay off, but again, another tag from that explosion. It's doing enough damage at the moment for Tanji. Yam will get another go at the rush to try and bring this health deficit down, and now it's Tanji who is pinned in the corner, gets out of it, but committed to the grab. And that is going to be punished big time. 300 odd damage, but only 10 seconds left.
This is going to be close. This is going to be very close. Anything can happen at this point. We've seen the roster come out. Yam has a slight health lead, I think, and yeah, that's gonna be point for Yam after all of this madness, absolute madness.
After all of that, it is Yam who manages to get that timeout edge and finally get themselves a point on the board. Yam leads this set by 1 point to 0. And to be fair, incredibly close from start to finish. Obviously, we're not done yet. It is the first of 2. It is a best of 3. So, it feels weird saying that knowing full well that we are about to play game 3 of this set. Because the first game was a draw. I still can't believe I'm saying that. But seriously though, for somebody that we don't often see, Tangier is really bringing a lot to this table. I think they're very much going to be one to watch going in the future, regardless of how this set goes.
True, I would argue that Tangi is already looking very good, and maybe even outplacing his seeding, because if I remember correctly, Tangi is seeded like 12th out of 13 players.
Yep, seeded 12th.
So, being able to keep up with Yam at this point, I'm not even talking about the insane game 1, I'm just talking about keeping up with Yam at this level is already very impressive.
Yeah, and just think, if they do decide to enter the Challenge Cup, which I think should still be on for next Sunday, I believe it's still on for next Sunday, you feel like if Tangi comes into that one as well, they'll probably have a slightly higher seeding based on today's actions. And you never know, we really might see them mix it on up with a lot of our familiar EU Arms players, which I, for one, would absolutely look forward to. If this is what they're doing against Yam, I would love to see what Tangi is going to be able to do to our regulars.
This is indeed going to be very interesting. We have to keep an eye on Tangi after that. Well, but yeah, apparently they're still debating on the stage. We might be going to Buster Beach.
The good old beach. I mean, it is summertime. It wouldn't be the summer without an appearance of the wonderful Buster Beach. Will anybody decide to bring in Binder Bark? No, of course not. That's going to be a Slacks only thing, I think. Not. Slacks and Yoshi only.
Slacks would have done it, yeah. Slacks would have done it.
I'll tell you what though, Yam bringing in a Gusher.
Yeah, as I was saying, like, Yam just mixing up his arms on the regular, trying to not allow Tangi to adapt at any point. Or rather, forcing him to adapt at all points, but making sure he never has an edge. Yeah, in countering the arm selection.
Yeah, and Tangi's staying again with the Burchuk and the Tripless, so they want to be able to try and keep Min pinned down, and I can definitely see what they're going for. And obviously the Burchuk can be used differently both on the ground and in the sky to different attack radiuses as a result. But Yam bringing in that Gusher on the Dragon Arm means that's a lot of heavy, it's a big old heavy arm to go up against, and obviously the bounce as well makes it that little bit more unpredictable.
It is definitely a weird arm to play against. The Gusher is such a weird arm to play against because it's not an arm you see that often, honestly, and its trajectory is extremely similar to the Glosher. I was about to say the Glosher, but it's also very weird. Is what I was about to say. Just that bounciness is very unpredictable if you're not used to it. But then again, it's when you're used to it, you know when to block.
And speaking of when to block,
and
unfortunately,
the rush trade is gonna be won by Tangi here.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, Tangi got away with that one, managed to get it. Didn't get the final, the finishing hit, but honestly, 15 seconds left on the clock. Yam is a hit away from going down, and Tangi is on the cusp of critical themselves. They cannot afford to be taking that many more hits because Yam is still bringing this back. Please don't end.
With the,
it's got the KO.
The chip damage and the KO, yeah.
The poison.
The chip damage from the poison is going to be very critical here.
Yeah, that was beautiful for Yam, but
be very careful about that.
Yeah, he wisely puts the Gusher away though. Does not want to be bringing that back in and bringing in the Hot Slam and the Roaster once again. Tangi was so close to getting another point, slipped away from Yam, but Yam not gonna have that at all. Does the comeback of their own. And now, trying to start the stronger, manages to get another successful roaster hit, which is naturally easier said than done. And both do have the rush here now. Tanchi did win out the last 1v1 with the rush exchanges, so Yam will try to get that little bit better placement, trying to catch them when they least suspect it.
With Buster Beach being a very big stage as well, it's very it offers a lot of options in terms of placement. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah.
Yeah, neither of them really want to come in for close quarter combat. Yam is more than happy to keep it at range for the time being. Yeah, both very much on similar health, but again, another hot slap is going to wrestle that health back down again. Potentially still getting a couple little blows here and there. The rush exchange goes in Yam's favor this time round and sends Tanji pretty much into critical condition.
365 damage. That is one big rush for sure.
But Tanji, not scared by that in the slightest, getting up close and personal and knowing full well that Yam maybe doesn't quite have the confidence and utility to really go for this anymore. And suddenly Tanji is really being aggressive. They know they've got nothing to lose at this point. Another successful Tri-Blast hit. And Tanji goes all the way back. Not in the hot pocket. That's the last place you want to be. Yam, I think, might just have the health lead from here. Rush will come out. Yes. And that will be enough.
It takes it. Almost. Yeah.
I think Tanji...
I think Tanji won in that one.
Yeah, I think Tanji knew...
We're going to round 3.
I think Tanji knew full well that they had to go for it, so it ties it up, but it's still Yam's advantage, and better yet, because of the fact they forced the rush out of Tanji, it doesn't matter. Yam starts this round with the rush advantage on their side, so Tanji has to be incredibly careful, and that rush to hit is not going to help them in the early goings, but manages to trade straight back at them. Now the rush will come up, and there's nothing Tanji can do about it. Only 245 this time around, but that's still a decent amount of damage.
Meanwhile, we have Jet cheering for another double kill. Right now, it's not looking that likely, honestly. Yam is in a great position. He does go into the hot pocket, which could be his downfall. But I know Yam. He can deal with it.
Oh! So, well...
Arm down.
Yeah, Tanji got the arm down, but crucially, Yam got that last hit with the slam, so it kept themselves alive. But this will force the break easily. And that is going to be 185. Tries to force them in the hop pocket and keep them there. Another explosion with the Tri-Blast, but they're switching positions, and Tanji has to be careful about this because now Yam gets themselves the heck out of there, charges up the big old roaster, and with 30 seconds left to go, it's Yam's advantage since they do have that rush on the table.
Tanji is also very much down in the pocket, comes back slightly, but he is playing from a distance game right now. He's trying to keep Yam at bay to make sure that he doesn't land any hits, but that roaster is going to find its target easily. And there's the rush.
Yeah.
It's going to land. I don't think it's going to be enough to KO. No, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's not enough to KO, but it really doesn't matter because Yam has the health lead, and that is the most important part. It will end at 2-0 for Yam. After 3 games. Yes, we did have 3 games because the first one was a draw and it didn't count. But boy howdy, what a set we just witnessed to kick off the 4th installment of the Mosh Pit here for the EU scene.
I guess to an extent, Yam is the first person to ever win a best of 3-1 to an extent.
Goodness me, that was unbelievable. What a set. What a start. I don't think I'm sick. If this was for a winner's final or loser's, if this was for a top 3 fight, it would be perfect. It's still perfect, but nobody will believe you if they tell you that this was the first round match of the tournament.
Arms, tips, and tricks is gonna have a field day.
Oh my goodness.
The first game alone would probably sell anyone on arms. I'm going to go that far.
On the contrary, I think that first set will absolutely sell it to arms because hey, if you're that close, you can double KO and get a draw in the same match. That's never happened. Oh my god. Like, I remember when I first started commentating arms and I got surprised by the fact that a draw could happen for the timeout, and then I got surprised that a double KO could happen. They are rarities in this community. They are absolute rarities to see either of those two things happen. For them both to happen in the same
match, back to back.
Oh my god, that I don't think I can remember a tournament where both has happened in the same game. That is ludicrous by any stretch of the imagination, and I will not be forgetting that match for quite some time. Commiserations to Tanji. It is double elimination tournament, so they are not out of this yet. They will have the underground bracket run at their disposal. And to be fair with what we've seen, I feel like they could go a fair bit of way into that underground bracket. Do you agree?
There is a good chance that Tanji could also pull the loser's run of a lifetime. I'm going to not bet money on it, because I need that money for later. But still.
Oh my goodness me!
So I'm just gonna do a little something, try to get a little bit of a better bit rate. I'll be back in like a couple seconds normally.
That is absolutely fine. Please take your time. We are just getting ourselves set up and ready for our next matchup.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. You are just in time and ready for our next matchup. Between Aloya and Simo, we are still in round 1. And we are getting ourselves set and ready to go. So Aloya on the left-hand side of your screen. We've got another Min player. Coming in with the Chakram and the Whammer. A big old squeaky, stunny hammer. Meanwhile, Simo is coming in with the good old Helix. Praised be thy Helix. And it is going to be it is going to be the Ice Dragon. And also we've got not the Windy Parasol. We've got the electric version, which is always nice to see.
I just think the electric parasol is a very good arm overall, just to get those stuns in. Pretty lengthy stuns as well on this arm. So could lead to very interesting confirms overall. And with Helix's unconventional movement, I will say, it can be very devastating as well.
Yeah, coupled with the Ice Dragon, you feel like Simo will play both an equally aggressive but also a long-range game, since the Dragon does excel more at that long-range potential. Meanwhile, Aloya, well, we know what they're used to. In a stage like DNA Labs, especially with how big it is and with those 6 pillars, the Chakram is always a good tool to start off with, so you can curve around those tubes. And so far, it's punishing Simo, keeping them in the corner. But having said that, Simo has been on a roll of their own. Both doing the rush exchange. 150 will at least bring Simo's health back down to a bit more of a comfortable field for Aloya. But Aloya's still on the cusp of critical themselves. Simo's been doing a lot of damage with that Parasol.
Once again, a very even match. Again, this is round 1. We are getting very even matches. Aloya and Simo obviously much more even on paper, but still very impressive to see both players at a mostly equal level as well.
Yeah, it's been great to see.
And Aloya's going to take round 1.
Yeah, Aloya taking that initial point, keeps in with their same arm combinations. I think, to be fair, safe. No, Simo is going to switch it up. We're going to bring out the Birdchuck, so an all ice load for our good old Helix. And no more Powerball for them for the time being. And Aloya again getting caught in the middle here. Again, Helix is such a difficult target. Can be as small as they want, can be as tall as they want, but that rush is still going to connect. 255 damage, just about caught them before they hit the ground. So again, good rush damage from Aloya, but Simo seems to be able to bring this back with just raw damage of their own side. So it's a really good chain between these two.
Simo definitely trying to go for those ice locks. It's gonna go, he's not gonna manage it, but there was an attempt, I will say. The rush isn't going to connect though, and Aloya is gonna perfectly punish that right away, kicking Helix to the curb.
Yeah, managed to smash through the tube as well, and pretty much looking for one more point of damage to take Simo out of the equation. The rush immediately just brings the hammer down. And nothing that Simo can do about that one. Aloya will lead this second set by 1-0.
Very good deflect here from the rush. Pretty much a guaranteed win at this point.
So, still close in the early stages, but it is going to be Aloya who takes that away for the time being. We're going to get ourselves ready for matchup number 2. Remember, it is best of 3s for the early stages. And so far in that matchup, Eloria a little bit more comfortable in that second point, but in that first point, it took Eloria to get used to Simo's playstyle because they were really starting to get some really decent health leads for Simo. Only that rush finally started to bring it back down into Eloria's favor, but up until that point, Simo was looking pretty feisty as well.
Simo definitely looking good in this matchup. I think it is a possibility that he can take it if he's a little bit more careful overall. But yeah, if it weren't for that rush punish, honestly, it would be a very different story in my opinion.
Yeah, I would not be surprised in the slightest if we see a little bit of a switch around here. I mean, obviously Eloria's not going to really switch from Min Min. It's generally the character we often see Eloria pulling on out, and I don't think it'll be anything like Yam where we'll have too many drastic arm changes, but for Simo, not entirely sure. Like, I guess it really does depend on the stage that we end up going on over to. I think DNA and... Oh, no, wait, I was reading the wrong list. Mausoleum and Sparring, I believe, were the ones banned from Eloria, so we're just going to wait on Simo to pick which stage we are going to. So 5 stages left on that. We haven't seen any of our counter picks just yet. Those 2 counter picks were Viados and Ninja College. Out of the pair of them, we've seen Ninja College a lot over the past few weeks. That has really been a go-to counter pick as of late. Viados is suddenly becoming a bit more of a rarity these days.
I feel like Ninja College can be a little more polarizing of a stage in certain matchups, so I'm not entirely surprised to see it a lot. But that will also mean that technically it would get banned a lot, so you know, it's a double-edged sword.
It is going to be...
We're going to Buster Beach again, and it's
oh,
Min Min Ditto.
No.
We're getting the Min Min Ditto.
Min Min squared. And it is going to be...
Min.
Yeah, too many of those. Let's shorten that down just a little bit. So it's not going to be a full-on mirror. The arms are going to be different at the very least. Chakram and Roaster for Eloria. Meanwhile, Simo will be coming in with the Megawatt and the hottest of slaps. So a very interesting combination for Simo. One of the slower arms in the game for the Watt, but still packs a punch.
It is definitely more of a defensive play in my opinion, especially with the Megawatt on the Dragon Arm. Because should Simo manage to actually set up the Dragon Arm, that Megawatt is going to be huge and going to be blocking pretty much anything that comes his way.
Unfortunately for Simo, Eloria has the Chakram which curves completely around it and has been shutting Simo down on every single go-round. And that is not, again, quite a perfect. It's just like a millimeter of chip damage was dealt. But yeah, pretty much a faultless run there from Eloria.
Yeah, the Megawatt not looking too great at this point. The character counter pick neither, so we'll see which adjustments we'll have. We do have the revolver on the right arm of Simo, which very small arm, which I can see for balance in terms of speed, of arm speed, but right now it's not going to land that rush, unfortunately.
Yeah, keeping the Megawatt on the Dragon Arm is a decision. I can see what Simo is trying to do with it, but Eloria has had a word for it so far. But now, actually jumping straight into that Watt, finally does get the rush up. The Watt was already extended, and that is 315 damage and back under control for Eloria at this stage. Again, another quick little combination, but Eloria sees it out, gets the punch, gets the grab. One more hit will do this for Simo if they can pretty much go down here. But again, still managed to keep themselves alive, so credit to Simo, they're still fighting on valiantly. But that Megawatt is predictable for Eloria, and that is going to be a 2-0 set.
Yeah, a quick 2-0. That happens as well, but still a pretty even match overall, I would say. Very good showing from Simo, and Eloria is going to move on to winners round 2.
And that they are. So yeah, 2-0 for Eloria. You like to see it go down like that. And it means that our round 1 matches are done and dusted. If we just take you back on over to the lobby. So, for the time being, we can tell you right now that the round 1 matches went like this. We had Yoshi Bowser take out Slacks by 2 points to 1. The only match that went to a third game. I tell a lie, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Ghost took out Kefguru by 2 points to 0. Yam took out Tenji by 2 points to 0. But we had to play 3 games to get there because, boy howdy, that first match was still ludicrous. Mr. Adel took out Dew by 2 points to 0, and Aloya just now taking out Simo by 2 points to 0. So your round 2 matches look like this. Grimwood will take on Yoshi Bowser, which I believe we will stream. Ghost will take on Yam. Iceman against Mr. Adel, and Replicant will take on Aloya.
Yeah, we've got some classic matchups going on here. Grimwood, Yoshi Bowser, obviously expected winners. Yam had to fight for his life, obviously, to get there. We got Ghost, we got Iceman, the usual suspects, I would say. And then Rep as well, Aloria. Pretty much very close to the seeding we had at the beginning. So not completely unexpected.
Yeah, no shocks for the time being. I say that knowing full well that we were very close to having a shock, but it did not play that way this time around. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Tanji had gone in and immediately just completely upset the pod? But we'll have to see what they do down in the underground bracket, which, by the way, looks like this. The underground round 1 match, there's only one of those. That is Kef Goody versus Tanji. That is seeded 12 and 13 respectively, so we'll see how Tanji does down there against Kef. The winner of that match will go into a match where they'll take on the loser of 9, which is Iceman Adel. Slacks will await the loser of Replicant Aloya. Jiu will await the loser of Ghost Yam. And Simo will await the loser of this match that we are about to stream for you here, which is Grimwood versus Yoshi Bowser. Have you been impressed with Yoshi Bowser? We've been seeing them every single time they've been showing up to an EU Arms Challenge. Pretty much one of the more consistent players in there. Never really able to get too far, but it's great to see them show up every single time.
They do show up every single time, and I would argue that they are improving steadily, not necessarily at a fast rate, but very steadily to and can be very much a threat in this bracket that could throw everything for a turmoil.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the field, we've got Grimwood. Grimwood has always been in the top 4 of this mosh pit. Third
going in.
Yeah, immediately going in. Yoshi sticking with the bite and bark. It's always nice to see Yoshi Bowser coming in with that. But Grimwood, per the usual, is going to be rocking the maximum brass.
Maximum brass.
I guess nobody is surprised by that. And we're going to Spawn Ring to start ourselves off with.
The double nades as well, but Yoshi Balls is gonna get that first grab. I like the double nade for the reasons I shouldn't like double nades. That on Sparring Ring, they're gonna be absolutely deadly.
I haven't said
their speed and how small the stage is.
And yet, having said that, Yoshi coming in with the double hot slaps, and so far, getting some really good changing so far, and I'm very impressed with this, and actually gets themselves in a good position to get the grab off as well. Grimwood is already into critical. Where has this came from Yoshi Bowser? Another hot slap onto the side of Grimwood. Yoshi is looking for one more hit of anything to take a point away from Grimwood. Grimwood's not having any of that into that buffed up.
Grimwood is angry. Grimwood is angry, and it's going to be very scary, even in the maximum grass. And it's the rush. It's going to be just enough to make the comeback.
Jeez. There was a moment where I thought there's...
It could have happened. It could have happened.
Goodness.
And now, at the very least, Yoshi has the rush advantage, and he's got the Seiki here.
Yeah, gonna
which
try.
It's going to be huge damage as well if it lands the rush.
Yeah, but Grimwood is not gonna want to take that one lightly. Has the Chakram to try and at least somewhat counter what Yoshi's bringing to the table. Yoshi just can't quite get in as often as they'd like to. Wakes up into a grab from Grimwood, who already has Yoshi down into critical. And that, my friend, I believe will be a perfect. No, it's not a perfect. They still took a little bit of damage. I thought for sure that was a full bar, but not this time. But in either case, Grimwood was not having any of that. They saw how close they were to conceding the point and quickly went, no, I am Max Brass.
Grimwood was just angry that match.
Oh my goodness me.
I almost lost. Not anymore. Not anymore.
It's like, I almost lost the point to bite and bark. This is not acceptable.
And now we're counter-picking to Via Dolce.
Yeah, first counter pick stage of the day. And it is going to be Via Dulce, or Via Dulce, as some like to call it. Again, Yoshi is thinking about committing to the double slaps, and does so.
I can understand that. The double slaps definitely were working for a while. So I'm not totally surprised, but this is also a much bigger stage overall, so anything can happen.
Well, anything can and will happen. Yoshi again going in with that grab just off the slap hit alone, which again tells you the confidence that Yoshi has that they are close enough to be able to take advantage of it, able to stop the nade and the chakram, but Grimwood says anything that you could chain, I could chain just as well. And with Bark down, Bite pretty much has no abilities to speak of for themselves. It is only Bark with the abilities in this duo. And so far, it's just been shut down all the time. But the rush does come through for Yoshi. Not quite able to chain it on the second time. But Grimwood snaps back immediately.
And here the full rush is going to land for 370 damage. That is going to take it.
So, Grimwood on set point already. Yoshi trying to go back in with the double slaps. But the double roasters from Grimwood, it is big time damage. And as long as one of those hits, which it has done so far, it is just pounding Yoshi down every single time they wake back up. Unfortunately, none of the slams have been going through just yet. And Grimwood seems determined to get themselves a perfect on the board. And the bike does keep going on out and does manage to get another sliver of health. So Grimwood won't get a perfect. But I don't think they really care. They're looking for the KO. They get the
They're
KO!
just going for it, and that's going to be a grab for the KO. That was a quick 2.
Yeah, that was a
quick
very,
match.
very quick match. We've had some long matches so far today, but that was the quickest of the lot. Grimwood takes out Yoshi Bowser by 2-0 and books themselves a ticket into the winners' semi-finals, where we already know that Yam will be waiting them. It will be Grimwood versus Yam in the first of our winners' semi-finals, having beaten Ghost by 2-0, much quicker than the fight against Tanji.
It's like the upper bracket, aside from Tanji, is pretty much trying to speedrun the entire tournament.
I am not surprised in the slightest. Then next on up, we're going to have another one of our regulars, another person who has never been out of the top 4 in the mosh pit so far. It is time for the Iceman to arrive, and they will be taking on Mr. Adel.
Just before that, quick question: can you lower the resolution of the stream, please? Not the actual stream, but like my Discord stream. I am having the worst bitrate.
I can have a look-see for you.
Sorry about that. That like tech issues. You know how it is.
That's as low as I can have it, I'm afraid.
I mean, 480p it should be fine, I guess. No, okay, it's 720p. Okay.
I can't lower it any further. It's not allowing me to. I do apologize for this. We're having technical. I shouldn't really be speaking. We're gonna just go to a no, but except everybody's ready. So.
I mean, it's fine. You know, we can go back to 720, 30. Like, it's fine. I'll deal with the bitrate. It just happens. It's fine.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it just doesn't allow me to pick anything other than 720 as the lowest. So I do apologize. That's literally as low as
I was convinced 480 was an option, but I guess not.
Yeah, doesn't give me it, I'm afraid. Alright, we have left our players waiting long enough. It is going to be Iceman, one of our top 4 regulars. Generally see them in and around the mosh pit area. Adel, new name. Haven't really seen much of them. They have managed to win their first match 2-0, which is always nice to see. But let's see how they fare against an individual like Iceman, who has came second once and then third place 2 times in a row, both for the second and the third installment. First it was Grimwood that got the better of them, and then it was Junior that got the better of them. So definitely looking for a little bit of revenge here, Iceman. They want to try and book their ticket into that top 4, get themselves to winners final, and hopefully net themselves a title that they are yet to acquire in the ARMS community.
Definitely, and I'm also curious to see what Adel plays, honestly. I'm always curious to see players I haven't seen that much, so we'll see.
Yeah, it should promise to be a lot of fun for both sides, and that's the most important part, that we always stress that everybody has themselves a good time, and you know, even if they do or do not learn things as they play, as long as they're having a good time, that's all we're here for.
Yeah, we're all here to have fun at the end of the day. Sure, there may be a little bit of money at the end, but nah, we're just here to have fun, mostly.
Absolutely, and whilst all of that is going on down, I can tell you the underground bracket, we haven't got results down there just yet. Those matches are still going on. So down there at the moment, Kef and Tanji are going up against each other. The winner of that match will take on the loser of this match, which is between Iceman and Adel. 2 other matches in the underground have started up, I believe, which is Ghost versus Jiu and Yoshi versus Simo. The winner of those 2 matches will take on each other in the losers round 3. So plenty of action going on across the board, and do remember that you can and still do raising money for the prize pool. It's up to 240 euros at this point, so
My
a
gosh.
big time increasement there.
Prize pool.
Yeah, this is looking like a spicy prize pool in and of itself, but here we go. Let's focus on the match at hand. Iceman as Ribbon Girl, generally a character we've often seen them play with a lot, going over the Tri-Blast and that Toaster, but immediately getting pegged down by Dr. Coil's own roaster, that unguided goodness, alongside the Tri-Blast of themselves. And, well, with Coil, they're floaty, they are incredibly hard to go up against, and on top of that, they also throw out a random third arm when they charge up. It is literally based on RNG, but if you do decide to rock in with pretty much the same arm, you're guaranteed to be using at least 3 of them, so you get the general idea. It's always a stressful character to go up against, is Coil.
It is definitely one of the strongest characters in the game. Funnily enough, I haven't seen that many coils lately, just because they weren't in the league. But it's still an extremely strong character you have to be very careful about, which can absolutely ruin your day in the wrong position. And however, she's gonna get rushed here by Iceman, winning that rush exchange.
Yeah, they both went for the rush at relatively the same times, but it's Iceman who gets the better of the exchange. And again, training blows back and forth between these two. Adel is holding up quite well against Iceman, both on similar health, and Iceman is a big time player. They've run multiple Challenge Cups in the past. They've run so many things alongside Riffa, and Adel is holding their own against Iceman here. 10 seconds left on the clock, and Adel has just enough health lead and gets the KO!
Ooh. That is going to be not an upset, but still a very good first round. Very good showing here from Adel. Just showing up and showing why he's here.
And immediately going straight in with the rush, but Iceman pretty much anticipating a move like that, gets the shield up, chip damage and nothing more than that. Gets the hit, but I think both get themselves, yeah, a big old fiery trade. But now it's going to be Iceman thwarted from the air, and Ribbon Girl is a very agile player, does like to use the air, but when you're going up against someone who also loves that superiority like Coil does, it can be quite hard to fight for that space.
Spoiler, Coil is Falco, she literally prefers the air.
And so far, again with that health lead in the early stages, and again with Coil, because they throw out so many different arms, they charge up rush incredibly quick, and Adel, realizing Iceman had a chance to counter, just wisely bails on the rush and gets the shield up. Very good move.
Very good block here. Like, you do have to remember for new players that you do not have to commit to rush. If at some point it doesn't work, or if you just need a quick defensive option, you can use rush defensively and block. That is what Adel did here, and that was a very good call.
And Iceman is bringing this back bit by bit, able to just about stomach most of Addle's shots so far. Both again with Rush, but the Rush, the will hit from Addle, and actually goes straight in for the Rush. Can they catch Iceman? They do! They got him in midair! Iceman went for the Rush!
They got him!
Iceman went for the Rush, but I think it was the Chakra that just caught them in the nick of time. And Mr. Addle, take a bow. You have your first point in this set.
Addle definitely showing up here. We don't know him much, but they're definitely showing up right now, which is very nice to see. And Iceman is gonna need to find an answer for that dreaded Dr. Coyle.
Yeah, Coyle is a very hard character to go up against. We've seen a few of them here and there, mostly in the American scene, but they have started to peel on over into the EU scene. I think we had a couple of people who have been going into that. Grimwood has been flexing between Brass and Coyle. I know one of our most recent brand new winners of the Challenge Cup, Alistair, rocked the Coyle as well. So there's a lot of people who are starting to slip and slide into Coyle in the EU scene. And seeing Mr. Addle make their presence known, I hyped this up. I'm thinking, you know, we're going to see the usual top fours make it into semis, but if Mr. Addle can have another match like that, this could be the upset of the tournament.
It could be one big upset.
Yeah, and we're going back to DNA Labs as well. Iceman, crucially, is switching the character out, so it is going to be Min Min instead of Ribbon Girl. The Hydra is coming on out for sure, and so too is the Ice Dragon.
You do need an entire arm against Coyle to an extent. You do need to have that option, and Hydra is just one of the most reliable anti-air arms you have in the game, so not surprised here about that pick.
Yeah, and it absolutely breaks the arm on the left-hand side, giving Iceman that first little sliver of damage, and you can see Mr. Addle slowly trying to become accustomed to the Hydra, but again, it's a fiery elemental ball. The second it hits you charged up like that, regardless of who you are hitting the deck immediately, and Iceman is proven to be a little bit more comfortable in this situation now.
I definitely think the arm change is doing a lot for him, as well as the character change. Although he's going to get knocked down there, but with DNA Lab in his favor as well to set up that dragon arm, it's going to be very good to have that Hydra just poking, doing the entire stuff, and then the Ice Dragon to limit the movement of Coyle. Just a strong combo overall.
Yeah, being incredibly agile on top of which, managed to avoid quite a lot of these grab attempts from Addle, and Iceman with a much big old comfortable health lead with 25 seconds left to go. It feels like it's only academic before this point gets wrapped up. Mr. Addle finally just get a hit in, but it's too little, too late, and Iceman will get themselves the initiative in this second game.
Very good adjustment here from Iceman. The character change definitely paid off, but we'll see how Mr. Addle adapts.
Yeah, immediately being pegged down. They're bringing in an arm switch as well. I believe that's the boomerang that's coming on up. But every time they wake up, they're waking up straight into another Hydra. Finally, Iceman does get pegged down, but a good series of hits from Iceman, and again, they're not done. This charged up Hydra is doing so much damage to the dragon as well.
355 damage. Like, I was about to say, these knockdowns are going to be crucial for Mr. Addle in order to get rid of that big fiery Hydra, but doesn't look like he's gonna get the chance. He's gonna get a little bit of a rush here. I'm not sure what happened on the Iceman's part, but still.
Probably went for the dash, but it doesn't matter anyway. The hit will come through. That is a KO. And Iceman has comfortably leveled things. So it's one apiece in our last round 2 match.
Yeah, as I was saying, very good adjustment from Iceman. Just showing why he's seeded to the top 2 in this tournament, and showing that he does have some answers against Coyle. But I'm guessing now we're gonna probably change stages at this point.
Well, Iceman has banned Sparring and Via, and yep, we are indeed getting the stage switcheroony. It is going to be Mausoleum where we will be ending things in this matchup, our last match of round 2. The only round 2 match to go to game 3. Everything else were 2-0 matches. Replicant beating a lawyer 2-0, Yam beating Ghost 2-0, Grimwood beating Yoshi 2-0. The only match to go one apiece at this stage. Iceman, the usual top 4 contender, going up against Mr. Adol, who is their first time competing here. And it's going to be, once again, Min Min versus Koya.
I will say we've been very good at picking out those matches overall. I feel like
Oh my gosh. Well,
we've been very lucky.
we certainly have been. We've been incredibly blessed, but now we go into a very important matchup. And Iceman starts as they mean to go on, gets the chain into the grab, and that is always going to be nice. Gets themselves another lick of icicle paint, but Adol wisely gets the shield up and just bides the time through. That Hydra is proven to be a massive difficulty for them, but nowhere for Iceman to really hide behind this time. But it doesn't really matter because that is again another successful read, and Iceman just keeps getting that Hydra charged up.
Mr. Adol just doesn't have any answers right now to deal with that Hydra. It's been the bane of his existence overall. He's gonna get a nice rush here, not gonna get the full damage unfortunately, but now we're back to neutral, and he's gonna have to find a way to avoid that Hydra.
Yeah, unfortunately they do get knocked down, and that will give Iceman enough time to get the Hydra straight back on up, and Adol, just one hit away from going down, does manage to get another successful hit, but they cannot afford to take another hit. Manages to get the chain in. Iceman has to keep the shield up and actually gets knocked down. A 1-2 hit here, and this is a very dangerous position that Iceman finds themselves in, but gets the rush off just in the nick of time to keep Adol out of contention for the time being. They do have set point, but I believe the rush advantage goes to Adol. Will they be patient with it this time round?
I believe so. I believe so. Iceman just burned that rush to make sure to get that round, which would be critical in terms of mental position. But we also know that Iceman can build rush really fast. Ooh, and water rush from Mr. Adol. Not gonna get the full damage, unfortunately. That was critical.
Yeah, that was... Adol, again, was just like, they got frozen. They were just baiting Iceman out with that grab. It's a shame they couldn't get that second juggle, but still decent damage. But Iceman's so quick on retaliation. They've got it all the way back to a comfortable margin. But again, still finding themselves caught by the odd chain here and there. Iceman will go for the rush. Gets a little bit of it, but the shield will be up for the rest. Adol will dip into critical, crucially. And Iceman does get the Hydra back on up to that permacharge status. But Adol has gotta be so cold. They cannot take another point of damage.
Just look at that pressure from Iceman. He's been very good at keeping up that pressure. And that rush is not going to land here. That is going to be critical. And yeah, this is going to be game to Iceman. 2-1.
Just like with Riffa, never write Iceman out immediately. It's going to be 2-0 in that match. It's going to be 2-1 in the set. Adol bought the fight. Really good showing, but the second Iceman switched to Min Min and that Hydra, Adol just struggled to keep up with that Hydra, and as a result, it is just not going to be for them. So down into the underground bracket they will go, and it is pretty much business as usual in the top 4 side of the field. Grimwood will take on Yam. Meanwhile, Iceman will take on Replicant. This will be to decide who will be going in to our top 3 into winners final.
And we do have some news from the losers bracket. Tanji winning losers round 1 against Kivguru. We have Eloria versus Paul going on right now. We do have Ghost winning over Chusesbika, I think, 004. And then, weirdly enough, I think there was a bug or something, but it says Yoshi Bowser versus Simo went 0-0 and Yoshi Bowser won. So I'm not sure what happened here, if the match did go through, or and they didn't put the scores in, or if it's just not happened yet. Not completely sure here.
It could also be that one person maybe forfeited. We're not entirely sure. But in either case, Yoshi Bowser is through to take on Ghost in that next matchup. And it means that we will now start our semi-final matches for you right here and now. It will be Grimwood, who will be going up against Yam.
Once again, it was more or less expected. Of Yam is seed 5, but like seed 4, seed 5, same thing, honestly.
Yeah, 4 and
So-
5 are generally pretty much even Stevens when it comes to those kind of shenanigans. So here we go, already set and ready to go. Both of these two not waiting around in the slightest. So winners semi-final, our first one for the day. It is going to be Grimwood as a maximum brass, coming in with the Coolerang and the Nate. Going up against Yam as the Min. Megawatt again making an appearance, but getting immediately hooked down. And we'll have to try and charge up that chiller another time.
So far, Megawatt hasn't been working out, but like then again, it's been like 10 seconds. I shouldn't be saying that. But it's not an arm that has worked out too much. We do have Dragon Arm up on Min though.
Yeah, that big old chiller gonna be something that they'll be looking to box against that nade consistently. And obviously the Megawatt, whilst Grimwood does have the Coolerang and to get around and do stuff like that, just chain in with those grabs and do big time damage. Make that 2 grabs in a row for Grimwood. On fire, and they make that 3 in a row. Jeez, Yam, calm your butt, can you please? We're coming.
Grimwood has been excellent with those grabs, and that stare down though.
Yeah.
I was almost expecting another grab, but no, this one is not going to land. But that little nade is going to be enough to take the KO here.
Yeah, that was quite painful for Yam. You could just sort of like see it. It's just like shield up. It's like, are you quite finished? Do you mind not grabbing me for like 5 seconds, please? We're going to come back out with the chiller and the Megawatt. Finally does get through with the chiller. But again, just bouncing off that shield. But the Watt is just going to say no to that rush. 330, and that is what Yam is looking for.
I mean, as we were saying, the good thing as well is when you get a rush, your arms get technically in 1 class higher of weight. So absolutely, that Megawatt rush was going to beat anything.
It's like, that's a nice rush you have. It would be a shame if I just ignored it with the Megawatt. And Yam comes back with a vengeance to tie this up.
Decisive round here as well. Almost full health.
Yeah, that looks quite comfortable for Yam in the end. So Grimwood knowing full well that they've got their work cut out if they want to just sort of like tag Yam back. They had a dominant first point, but then Yam has a dominant second point. So now, suddenly, it's anyone's guess which way this will fling out, but it's Grimwood who gets the first point of damage with the unguided, explosive nature of the nade. And again, Yam will hit with something, but because Brass is bulked up, gonna juggle in with the rush, and that, my friends, is just brutal.
Yeah, that's just what I like to call the damage. But we do have the rush back, 290, very respectable rush here from Yam, who's on his last sliver of health. Anything is going to KO at this point. And gotta be very careful about that nade explosion, because it has caught him several times at this point.
Yeah, the Cooling just about whizzing past him. Yam knowing full well they can't take damage, but the Boomerang finally catches up to them. A close match for that 3rd point in the end, but it is going to be Grimwood who takes the initiative so far.
Yam has had some very nice movement overall during this match, but unfortunately it wasn't going to be enough to avoid everything that was coming his way, especially with that nade being very menacing.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a difficult one to go against, and we are getting told that our second counterpick stage will be making an appearance today. We are going to some Ninja College.
Oh, I wonder how that matchup goes.
Well, neither of them are coil, so you don't need to worry about that.
There's at least that.
In before Grimwood switches to coil and just, you know... No, thank goodness you stick with Brass. Good Grimwood, we like you for that.
Also, just before we begin, Slacks, you're not funny. 18-0, really? Anyways,
Anyways, into Ninja College we go. Grimwood with that point advantage. Remember, these are still best of threes, and that Thunderbird is going to immediately nip on around that Megawatt. Feel like Grimwood is definitely picking arms that are a bit more accustomed to going up against that Watt this time around. Keeping the nade on for that explosive damage, and so far keeping the initiative, although Yam has had a couple of little slivers of pokes here.
Yeah, Yam has been pretty good once again at movement and at just getting pokes. But unfortunately, against a buff max brass like this, pokes aren't going to be enough. You need to get those charges in. And Yam is not getting that. Instead, he's getting rushed.
Yeah, Yam just getting completely destroyed there by Brass, who is not hanging around anytime soon. Grimwood knows what's at stake. They know they have a chance to be able to put their name on the board and want to book their tickets into Winners Final for what would be a pretty big moment for them. Gonna get a sliver little damage from Yam, who is bringing in the Phoenix and that good old Chiller. The Phoenix will be on the Dragon Arm this time around to try and counteract the Thunderbird that Grimwood is rocking, but well, Grimwood has the high ground advantage, but can they maintain it as Yam starts to bring on that distance, close the gap down? But again, the Thunderbird just curves around.
Yeah, that Thunderbird has been very treacherous with those curves, and unfortunately the Phoenix from Yam is not doing as much, and each time the Thunderbird hits as well, Min Min loses the Dragon Arm, which put them back into that position where they can only poke Brass while he's buffed up, and not getting those charged arms in.
Yeah, Grimwood actually taking a little bit more damage than we've seen so far underneath that halfway mark, but again, we know that Brass becomes even more intimidating once they do hit that critical stage. Yam trying to get something with the rush, but not going to happen. Instead, Grimwood turns the tables, and Yam finds themselves into critical condition, already stuck in the corner, which is the last place you want to be. The nade again, just tagging in for damage. 20 seconds left on the clock. Grimwood is not too far away for critical, but that's the last thing Yam needs, not having rush available in the slightest, and Grimwood just going to back it on out. 10 seconds left to go, and Grimwood looks like they'll take this quite nicely in the end.
This is a very tough situation for Yam at 1 HP right now. It's over, Min Min. He has the high ground. And the KO for the style. Nice.
Yeah, KO with 1 second left on the timer. You like to see it for Grim, and that is going to be Max Brass flexing his way into Winners Final. It will be a top 3 appearance no matter what happens for Grimwood. They missed out on the top 3 last time round. They ended up 4th place in the previous Mosh Pit, but they're back on the top 3 no matter what happens from here on out.
Very nicely done. Grimwood must be very glad to be at this stage of the tournament now. And that means we're going to move on with Iceman versus Replicant.
Yeah, this will be a very interesting match between these two. We have seen Iceman have to go the distance to take out their previous competitor to get this far. And we also know that Iceman has never finished outside the top 3. Iceman has finished 2nd place in the first Mosh Pit, and then 3rd twice in a row for the previous 2. So essentially, you would feel like Iceman has it sort of like written in the stars, essentially. Like, you feel like you will likely see Iceman make Winners Final, but Replicant is Replicant. We've seen them do some amazing things in the past, and well, if anybody can just give everybody a little bit of a wake-up call, it would be Replicant.
Definitely. But yeah, Iceman is definitely looking right now to keep his streak alive. So it's gonna be I'm expecting a very scary Iceman, in a way. But Replicant isn't going to let him just roll his way and just get into the winners finals for free.
I think you and I know that very well at this stage, so we'll see how this plays out. Replicant, naturally, always here and there in the tournament picture, but again, never made it into top 4 themselves in the Mosh Pit. Like I said, only 5 people have been in the top 5. Obviously, the reigning champion Rafa, who has not taken part, has been, winning all 3 of them, but it's been Junior, Grimwood, Iceman, and a Lawyer. They are the only other names in that top 4 picture, so Replicant has a shout to be able to at least find a way in there. If not via beating Iceman here, they've still definitely got a good shout in the underground bracket, which, speaking of, Ghost has taken out Yoshi Bowser by 2 points, and also Ghost has advanced to losers round 4. They will take on the winner, not the winner, they will take on the loser of this matchup, which is Iceman Replicant. So that's going to be an interesting match no matter how you slice that. Meanwhile, Eloy will take on the winner of Adol and Tanji. That is a very interesting matchup to keep an eye on as well. So, and the winner of that will take on Yam. As we get ourselves ready then for Iceman versus Yam. It is Min Min versus Lollipop.
Good old Lollipop. I love the new Lola from Replicant. You might want to change the names, by the way.
Oh, for Pete's sake. I did press update. I don't know why I did not update it up. There we go. So Iceman with the Min Min, Tribolt, and the Ice Dragon. Usual combination we've often seen for Min Min. Meanwhile, for Replicant, the Lollipop, it is of course the Nade. It is of course the Coolerang as well. Very flexible character, very bouncy character, able to waddle around with their shield up, which is a
very
bit
defensive character overall. One of the most defensive characters in the game, in my opinion, with those abilities to shield in the air. But right now, Replicant's taking a lot of hits. For a character that can shield in the air, he's taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, Iceman is not giving them a chance to breathe in the slightest here. Already popping Replicant into critical. Pretty much a hit will do any kind of damage. Will put it for Iceman in the early goings. Are weak on the right hand side, that will not help. But Replicant, not afraid in the slightest, finally does get taken on down. And Iceman will get that initiative.
Definitely a commending round by Iceman. Just what, in a way, what we expect. Honestly, at this stage of the competition, but not really. I really want to see Replicant just adapt and get there. We do have, I think, the Hydra. That is absolutely the Hydra, yeah.
Yep,
on Replicant's side.
Yep, Hydra coming out for the good old Lola, and in fact it gets the grab as well. Iceman keeping the shield just a little too long. And Replicant gonna quickly punish that against that Tribolt and the Ice Dragon. Again, another hit with that big old rank. And Iceman really have to be careful here. This damage is starting to get a little bit nasty here. Finally, shoots back with a 1-2 thanks to the Dragon as well. And finally manages to bring this into a bit more comfortable range. Both with Rush available, but it's really just a case of when either of these will want to try and pop this. I think for Replicant, they'll want to try and hold this for the next round, but also don't be surprised to see them try to go for the KO with Iceman on the cusp of critical.
This is a much closer game than the previous one. Iceman is definitely getting taking a lot more hits, but Replicant is much more dictating of the match's pace. But yeah, that rush is going to get blocked. Almost get that shield break here.
Yeah, are weak on the left hand side, but it slowly fades away. Iceman just can't quite keep the pressure up. Grab just unfortunately missing to the side, but both now into critical condition. Replicant with the slight health lead, I think. Actually goes for the rush, gets the rush, and with 10 seconds left on the clock, that will tie this first point up.
Very good adaptation overall by Replicant. The Hydra doing work against that scary min-min of Iceman's. I like it, I like it.
Yeah, back to that nade though on the big old Dragon Arm alongside the actual Ice Dragon. And again, gets that successful knockdown in the early stages and pretty much will be the first one to charge up Rush as well. So Iceman has that fear factor to their advantage. Trying to keep Replicants in the corner, but we know Lollipop is too bouncy to be kept in a simple corner.
Yeah, you just got that clown that bounces around and comes at you. What do you do? But that Rush is, once again, Rush is going to get blocked here. The delayed punch here is going to get a little bit of 20 damage, but it's not going to be much.
Not much at all, but it's still something at the very least. But again, Replicant able to bring this back. Now goes for the Rush. Just about caught them with the wind. Really good quick reaction from Replicant. Gets 345 in the midst of all of that. And suddenly, this matchup has turned into Replicant's favor. Iceman having to fight through the corner. Gets the grab and gets themselves out of this. So it's not over yet. And Iceman will probably get to Rush first. Or will they? Because now they find themselves in critical condition.
Replicant has been doing quite a good job with those two arms overall, and just making sure that to keep Iceman at bay. Obviously, Rush is a factor right now and could potentially kill, but no, he's just gonna blow up.
Yeah, his nade literally blew up on him. That's the last thing you want to see. The self-destruct is gonna be what causes Iceman to concede the point. It's unfortunate to see it happen. We've seen it happen plenty of times in the past. But it's Replicant who starts off with the initial point against Iceman.
Remember, kids, don't play with fireworks. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable to see that one all played out. It's like, that is the risk you run. You run. The risk you run with explosive arms. You've got the nade, for example. It can be disarmed by your opponent, and as a result it can absolutely blow up in your face, especially when the fact if it hits a target and the game says yep, you successfully hit a target, it then activates the explosion sequence, and it's the last thing you want is to be caught out in that. Just as much as your opponent doesn't want to get caught in the AoE, and sometimes they'll get their rushes full and denied because of a wayward explosion, it can absolutely happen to the person using it as well. And Replicant gets a little bit of a lucky break towards the end there, and see if they can pick up the pieces as we move into Ninja College again.
Nade is such a risk-reward arm, which is very funny sometimes when you see the self-destructs.
So, both will stick with their respective characters. Both will pretty much stick with the same kind of arms, except the Hydra is gone this time around for Replicant. It is back to an all-chill loadout. In fact, the only arm in this matchup that isn't rocking the ice element is the Tri-Bolt, which is rocking the stun instead, which to be fair you kind of have to bring 3 horizontal bolts against a very agile character like Lola.
It is definitely needed to have those quick arms and to make sure that you can block the movement against those agile characters, but once again Lola is so defensive that at some point you do have to be very careful anyways, and that rush is going to get blocked here.
Yeah, Replicant gets the shield up, keeps the health at a somewhat even playing field. They do have the rush and the high ground for the time being, and Iceman tries to get away with it, does get away with it. Gets a gentle punch of 30 for their troubles, and that will be that. So neither fighter gets any kind of purchase with their rush this time round.
Yeah, those rush aren't going to sell like this, but at least we do have a very even game. We do have Iceman on the high ground right now, keeping Replicant at bay, making sure that he doesn't leave like that, but he's going to get pushed back slowly but surely.
Yeah, Replicant, you can see, trying to turn the tables on them, but then instead gets grabbed for their issues. 13 seconds left on the clock. Replicant will be the one into critical. Iceman not quite there yet, so Replicant will get rushed, but they probably will not be using it anytime soon because Iceman is just backing their heck off. Gets a grab, but the grab will not change anything in this situation. Iceman will take the initial point here, but can they tie the setup?
This is overall a very close game. Iceman will... We're going straight into it. Iceman will want to absolutely catch Replicant in way more in order to make it happen. But we've seen overall that he's been pretty good at keeping Replicant at bay in that previous round.
Yeah, so far Iceman again not really able to get proper purchase on that rush. Now it's Replicant's turn, and they definitely find their mark. 175 can't quite get the full juggle that they would like to, but it's still decent damage, certainly a lot more than the 30 they had in the previous point, and it means they are both still very much even terms on the health. Make that a little bit more favorable into Replicant's favor now, but with the arm break on the left hand side, Iceman is not letting this pressure up anytime soon.
Iceman is definitely very good at applying that pressure right now. But right now he's in the corner, is in a very dangerous position. Replicant does have a weak arm on the left arm, which could turn out to be at the advantage of Iceman. It's 1 now, but this is looking very complicated for Iceman right now.
Yeah, on the cusp of critical. Meanwhile, Replicant hasn't even dropped past the halfway mark yet, both with rush available, and there's only 25 seconds left on the clock for this respective point. And Iceman could be staring at a bit of a mountain to climb if they're not careful, because Replicant is just biding their time. Another successful hit slows Iceman down. In fact, gets the longest of grabs that I did not think was going to be connected. Iceman falls for it, unfortunately. There's no way Iceman wins this point from here. Again, another tie.
Yeah, Replicant's just gonna get the KO to make sure of it. But there was no way Iceman was just going to get enough damage, even from the rush, to get back on track.
So
we're going into round 3.
Yeah, very pivotal match here. Iceman has to win this to keep this set alive, otherwise Replicant is going to turn the script a little bit on its head, and it's going to be Iceman who takes the first point of damage. It's not always the be-all end-all, but you never want to concede that first point, and it's going to be Iceman who, again, doesn't get anything with the rush, gets caught with the Coolerang, and from above, it's going to rain absolute terror down onto Iceman. 355 damage, and Iceman is in a lot of trouble here.
Death coming from above indeed. And Iceman right now is back into the corner. Replicant just not letting out the pressure. He is going to get pushed back a little bit up. Now it's actually the mountain to climb for Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman on the cusp of critical. Replicant pretty much with a nice full bar of health finally gets caught in midair by the bolts, which is literally what they're there for, and Iceman has got to connect with this rush crucially. The arm is weak on the left hand side. Replicant has theirs as well. It is all about time for Iceman, but so far, with just about 30 seconds left on the clock, Replicant is looking to write a little bit of history in this chapter here. But again, just on the halfway mark, Iceman can still turn this around, but they have to be so careful. Rush will come out from Replicant, and it's going to get caught. KO! Iceman is going down by 2 points to 0, and Replicant is going to be a brand new name guaranteed on the top 4 roster for the Moshpit.
What a dominating, not dominating, but what a very good set from Replicant overall. Just showing adaptation every single time and making sure to never let out the pressure against Iceman. Very well done.
Oh, very well done indeed. That rush was beautiful to watch, and it means that Iceman will have to drop on down to the underground bracket, which means the winner's final will be Grimwood versus Replicant. Replicant will be in the top 3 no matter what happens. Replicant has never made top 4 in Moshpit. Not only are they guaranteed it, they're guaranteed a part of the prize pool because top 3 get it. So that's a massive moment for Replicant.
True, but before that, we have been informed that we are going to go down to the losers bracket to see some matches. We're waiting for confirmation on which one. But in the meantime, I think we should talk about a certain thing that involves, I think, a whirlpool and
I know what you're getting at. Ah, yes, I know what you're on about. You're on about XWOV. If we put that the right way around, that's Vortex, my wonderful friends. Welcome on back. Hopefully you're all as excited for this event as we are, because this is going to be pretty damn special. Not going to lie, it is an event with a lot of games, a lot of different fighting games. We've got Windjammers in there, for crying out loud. Virtua Fighters in there, Lethal League Blaze, Inuyasha, heck, even Jackie Chan is in there. Like, it tells you, like, the variety of games that we've got on here. Even Puyo Puyo Tetris is on this, and that's not really a fighting game, so.
Yeah, and I think Gundam's on there, Street Fighter the movie, the game is on there as well.
It's great to see such a variety of games being fully backed into this kind of territory. It's going to be September 11th. ARMS will be running 3 different regional tournaments. Once again, just like the Moshpit has been doing, 1 NA, 1 JP, and 1 EU. It'll promise to be an amazing time from start to finish, and I cannot wait to be able to see what this wonderful community can do. Like I said, September 11th for all 3 regions, and you know, don't just come just to support one game. I mean, obviously we'll want to see as many people turn up for it as possible, because Arms is fun, y'all. But also at the same time, show support for other games. As if there are games or series on there that you appreciate, feel free to give them some love as well and show the world what the Arms community can really do.
And most importantly, make sure to register now. The registrations for this tournament, and I think the Tuesday evening before the actual tournament begins. So for Arms, it would be on Tuesday, 7th of September.
That is correct.
So make sure to register as soon as possible if you want to get a spot.
So you've got just over 2 weeks, so you got plenty of time to register, and most importantly of all, spread the word. Make this heard as loud as physically possible.
And once again, I'm teasing, I know, but there's gonna be a little bit of a prize pool for this event that would be very interesting as well.
Yeah, it'll be pretty special to see, not going to lie. It's always going to be a little tasty treat. Speaking of prize pools, do remember that the Mosh Pit has a prize pool. Like I said, the top 3 will be splitting that up. Third place will be getting 10%, second place will be getting 30%, and the winner gets 60%. It is currently sitting at €240, which is a staggering amount of money, to be fair, to be playing for in the ARM scene, which is always incredibly nice. So thank you very much for those of you who have contributed so far. Remember, with that explanation prize pool, you can absolutely contribute to that pretty much till the end of the tournament here tonight. And that is when that will be dished out. So far, we know that Grimwood and Replicant will both be getting a slice of that prize pool regardless of where they finish, because they are in winners final. You can only drop down to third from there. So it's really a fight to see who else will be getting involved with that. And for right now, we are going to go ahead into the underground bracket, as you say, and we will be joining in with Iceman. Iceman we're going straight back to. They will be taking on Ghost, who just took out Yoshi Bowser by 2-0. So should be a lot of fun to see how Iceman bounces back from their unfortunate slip in that semi-final matchup.
It's going to be very interesting, but it's also going to be a little bit tiring for Iceman to just go into losers right here, right now, right after the previous set. So I hope it doesn't take too much of a toll on his mental. And meanwhile, we do have Ghost. We haven't seen Ghost yet, I think, so...
No, we have...
No, we did. We did or we didn't?
I don't think we...
No, we didn't.
No, we haven't streamed Ghost. Not this time round.
We're talking about the coil invasion. Here it is.
Yeah. I guess it was only a matter of time before that finally started to snake on in. Underground losers round 4 is where Iceman will once again be coming in with the Min Hydra in hand. Ghost coming in as Coil has a Hydra of their own, but immediately falls foul to not 1 but 2 Hydra hits in a row, which just goes to show that Iceman really does practice for Coil these days.
I mean, who could blame him? After everything, we knew this day would come.
It's like, we've seen what's been happening in America. We are prepared for the Coil.
We know. But yeah, right now Iceman is the one dishing out the pressure here. Ghost is trying to get out, but it's gonna be very tough here. Fortunately, Mausoleum is pretty much the most neutral of maps you can think of, with how round it is and how just the size of it. So, yeah.
Well, so far, Iceman consistent with the Hydra, has been taking a few hits, but nothing that they're sweating about too much. Just on the cusp of the halfway mark, and Ghost is going to go for the rush. Actually gets the first juggle, doesn't quite get the second, so has to settle for the 160, but still managed to get another rally on. But Iceman with the rush actually misses it. Ghost can't quite get the punish. Had like 3 attempts at that, but just couldn't quite find the finishing touch they were looking for. Finally finds the Hydra of their own, and suddenly Ghost has turned this on its head completely. Iceman finally gets a Hydra poke, but with just over 10 seconds left to go, this is still anyone's match here.
It's anyone's game.
There we go.
Honestly, it's gonna go down to the yeah. I was about to say it's gonna go down to the wire, but no, Iceman is just gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah, it was a little too close for comfort, and Iceman will not want a repeat of that anymore. They must have thought, okay, we got this comfortably on knockdown, but Ghost just very quickly came back at them quite out of nowhere, to be honest. And both with rush set and ready to go, Iceman has to chakram up on the Dragon Arm and immediately pops the rush, catches Ghost by surprise, and that is some big time 350 damage. But Ghost immediately with the retaliation gets a little bit of wind, and 330 tick for tack between these two in the early stages.
It is very back and forth so far. And I feel like Iceman got a little bit of a better read overall, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The score is very even, and it's going to be a matter of being very careful around that coal that's just flying around.
Yeah, the bolts are really tripping Iceman up. The switch from the Hydra to the Triblast has really helped Ghost in this matchup, and Iceman dropping the Hydra has not helped them in the slightest. Ghost is almost there. Broken arm down for Iceman. One more hit from anything will do it for Ghost and tie this up. Gets caught by the Ice Dragon. Shield gets up. Ghost does not get baited up by the rush. Tries to get the punishment, doesn't quite reach it, and the Triblast will finally end it.
Yeah, very good overall defense at the end by Ghost, but it was needed in order to tie this up. And we're going to see the Hydra back on Iceman. Understandable. Have a nice day.
I mean, again, are you surprised? It's generally an arm that you will see a lot of people bring in against Cole for a reason, because it just keeps her grounded. But that 330 damage from that rush from Ghost, again, 2 successful rushes in a row for Ghost, and a trade that favors them, especially with the trampoline being in and out. Coil will just laugh at the fact that trampoline is there because she's such a versatile character in the air. Exactly.
She doesn't care about the trampoline. She can just fly over it. It's the same for her. Meanwhile, Iceman does have to work around the trampoline, limiting his movement options, and it's going to be free reign for Coil.
Yeah.
Days.
Yeah, this is the last thing you want. It's like we say the mausoleum is neutral, but the second that trampoline was revealed, how quickly Ghost took full advantage of that. And that is going to be Iceman dropping another point. And it's Ghost with the advantage in the losers round 4 match.
This is going to be stressful for Iceman. He's going to have to work out how to beat this Coil that is just tearing him up right now.
Yeah, this
Mausoleum was definitely not the good stage for that.
like I said, Mausoleum is neutral until the trampoline breaks, and it was just unlucky.
It's fine until the trampoline.
Yeah, it was unlucky for Iceman that the two traded the way they did, because without them both being hit at the same time, Coil would not have dropped onto that. And we are going to Ninja College. I don't know.
I don't like this stage.
I was gonna say the same thing. I don't know if this pick. Iceman might have a goal with this. The Hydra could still absolutely work with this because it's a very vertical stage. It covers the ground as a result on a stage like Ninja College, and it keeps Coil grounded as much as physically possible. If anything, it does give Coil more to work against. But having said that, this is also Coil, and we know if Coil has the high ground already, she's going to laugh at a stage like Ninja College.
She's just gonna go higher. Like, like, woo, bye Coil. Going to space.
To the moon. And already you can see Ghost utilizing that height to beautiful, beautiful dominancy. 260 damage. On weak on that left hand side though, so Iceman is still putting on a lot of pressure, trying to force the break. But they're taking an awful lot of damage in the meantime. And the shield is up. The arm will break, but it won't juggle. And Ghost, as a result, pretty much gets away with that.
Iceman having a lot of trouble getting out of that down position against that menacing Coil. He does manage to get back to even right now, which is going to be very good for him. But it might be a little bit late at this point, although he did even up things.
I was going to say, it is never too late, especially when it's Iceman in the midst of all of this. And actually, Ghost says, you know what, screw it. I'm going in with the rush. I can see you coming back at me, and I'm not going to allow you to get away with it. So, yes, it hands Iceman the rush advantage going into the next point, but Ghost, crucially, makes sure that the pressure stays on Iceman's shoulders.
The Iceman also gets the height advantage at the start of this round.
which I think he's gonna want to exploit as much as possible. Although right now he's getting knocked down left and right.
Yeah,
He's
fine.
gonna get the rush though.
Yeah, does get the rush, but only gets 170 out of it. I mean, it's still damage. It's still damage you'll absolutely take in the grand scheme of things. You can see Ghost trying to find a way to get back that high ground advantage, but they're giving Iceman too many opportunities to hit them like that as a result. Now they finally do have it, but the arm is already down, and Iceman quickly dashes to the side and retakes the high ground lead. This is how important it is to keep that advantage against the character like Coil. The Hydra, again, ready and waiting to keep Coil down. And Iceman, a little bit more comfortable here, both with Rush, because Iceman just charging it up so quickly. Isn't actually afraid to take the lower ground strategy at this point, because Ghost has all the work to do.
Hydra is doing a lot of work in the second round, just taking down Gold, putting her in hard knockdown. It's a bit tricky, a bit of a tricky situation to deal with, but
Oh no!
Ooh, and the crush confirmed off of the explosions, not gonna be enough to KO though.
No, it's not. In fact, Iceman got themselves a Dragon Laser hit as well, so I think Iceman has the health lead with 10 seconds left on the clock. Ghost has to get another hit in. The rush is going to come out. Can Ghost punish this at the last second? They've got a hit. They can't hit. Iceman hangs on to take a point.
So close, so close. It was almost Ghost game to win, but unfortunately not getting that punish on that rush just made it so that it was over.
And with that, Iceman is going to drop the Hydra and bring in the nade alongside that Ice Dragon. I wonder if that will come back to bite them, but they're starting off the stronger of the two. But Ghost, with that Toaster, with that Triblast, immediately comes on in and hits the rush as well. Pressure onto Iceman's side of the field. They're already at the halfway mark. That's the last thing they need at this stage.
And now the Iceman is slightly getting back out of the corner, slightly pushing Coil away from it, but it's still going to be very tough to come back from that. Iceman does have the rush advantage, can pop it whenever, but Coil does have Ghost does have these confirms on deck.
Yeah, they really do at this point, and able to dodge the rush completely on the Iceman. That was not what they needed at all, and Ghost now has the rush advantage. That will surely be a KO, and for the first time in Moshpit history, Iceman doesn't make the top 4. Ghost has beaten him by 2 points to 0.
Ghost showing everyone why Coil is such a strong character, and showing everyone as well why he deserves to be in that bracket, and just so far up in that bracket.
Wow.
Very nicely done from him, and hope we see more of him.
Well, I mean, we're guaranteed to see more of it, because do you know what that means? Ghost is in top 4. Ghost has made it. Yeah, Ghost advances to losers semi-finals. Losers semi-finals literally plays to see who makes it onto the podium. Ghost is in top 4. They are a match away from the podium positions and a slice at that prize pool. That is phenomenal. So we have guaranteed 2 brand new names in the top 4, which will be guaranteed free when you think about the other match is Yam versus Adel. Yam hasn't made it into top 4 in Moshpit, and neither has Adel. We're gonna have 3 guaranteed new names into the top 4 for Moshpit. That is ludicrous.
That is insane when you think about it. But we shouldn't think too much about it.
Wow. Okay.
We should just watch the matches and enjoy this high-level ARMS gameplay.
I mean, are you not entertained? It's been one of those events already. Heck, it was entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
It was entertaining from the first match, and that is saying something.
That is saying something. I also can't do the deep voice thing.
Hey, A for effort. we like that here. So after all of that, we now move on to the other matchup in this set. It is going to be Yam to go up against Mr. Adel, who, by the way, Mr. Adel not only took out Tanji by 2 points in nil, they took out Aloria by 2 points in nil as well.
They took out Aloria.
Yeah, and Aloria, again, a former top 4 finisher. So, really, a lot of things being shaken up today. This has been a tournament where a lot of upsets and surprises are happening, and it's amazing to see. I mean, obviously Tanji not getting past Underground Round 2 is unfortunate to see, but still a massively good showing against Yam earlier. Will definitely be one to look out for, but same too for Mr. Adel, who's made it all the way to this point. Needs to take out another regular, a high-seeded player of Yam. If Ghost can upset Iceman, anything can happen.
We have seen things that we thought we weren't going to see in that in a tournament in a long time. But this is the tournament to shake it up. And remember, this is the last major before Vortex Gallery as well. So this is showing what we're going to be expecting for Vortex, and I'm so excited for it as well.
It's going to be as close as possible, and that's what we like to see. And obviously, this is without putting Reference in the mix, who obviously isn't competing today because they are organising the mosh pit. So, Yam on the left-hand side of your screen, coming in with the Phoenix and the Ice Dragon. Mr. Adel with that Roaster and the Tri-Blast. You know, you bet throughout every single player, every single fighter that's been making an appearance today, Refer will be watching and taking notes massively.
Oh, definitely. There is a lot to learn from everything we've seen today, and we've also been very scared of the coil invasion so far. That is looking very likely with Adel already putting Yam on the back foot.
Yeah, this is a very dominant showing already on DNA Labs. The Roaster and the Tri-Blast is just shutting down the Phoenix and the Ice Dragon at every single possible moment. Arm broken and again taken advantage of. Adel is just not slowing down, and Yam is struggling to keep up with this exchange. The Tri-Blast is going to KO very quickly here.
Yeah, what a showing from Mr. Adel. Showing why he's once again showing why he's here. Like, holy crap, the coil invasion is real.
The coil invasion is real, and it's happening right now, so don't scratch your eyes. There could be more trouble ahead as Yam does get knocked down by Adel, who is looking to join Ghost in a very unlikely loser semi-finals. I think nobody would have had this in the script in the slightest, as Mr. Adel lands another rush to take Yam just above the halfway mark, underneath the halfway mark. Yam does have rush, but the arm is weak again on the left-hand side, and Yam is struggling to keep up with the coil here. They're finally getting some hits and finally bringing this health back down to a more feasible gap, but there's still a lot of work to do in this minute.
Adel being very troublesome. Thankfully, Yam has more movement options now that the pillars are down, which are going to help immensely against this unrelenting coil. And that rush is going to get blocked here, which is huge, especially now that Yam does have a rush to block it. Ooh, and the arm is down. The arm is down.
I love that. Yam,
that rush is going to connect.
Yam
comes back.
Yam had one arm broken, managed to get it back. The other arm then broke, managed to get that back, and somehow still landed the rush. That was unreal.
Yam's doing excellent job despite having both arms broken back to back.
God, Yam really said, no, I am. It's like, no, I am taking this point. I will take this point from you. Please stop.
Yam is definitely not Vegeta.
Oh my goodness me. Well, Yam is proving to be another one to come back from, but unfortunately again sidestepping into another rush. 235 damage. Adel has been on top of their rush confirms so far. Only that one that Yam shielded, which to be fair, Yam was already at rush potentially, so you just saw them just chip away, which is why Yam got themselves into that predicament in the first place. Again, stuck in that corner against the tube, the only tube that's really left in the stage. Now it's fully broken. Mr. Adel dropping down past the halfway mark. They do have the health advantage, but Yam turned this around last time round, so don't bet on them doing this again.
Yeah, and first off, breaking that allows Yam to more easily escape the corner, although he is completely blocked at that wall. He's been blocked there for 10 seconds, not finding a way to push in. The rush, however, is going to connect. I think that's enough to KO, and it is.
The second I start talking about a chance for very much of an upset semi-final bracket, Yam says, no, 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 not on my watch. I will do what Iceman couldn't. And they are starting off things with a very close matchup, but crucially, takes the first point.
This first point is so important. Yam now has the momentum going into the second match, and Mr. Adel has to climb back up. It's going to be a toll on the mental, but it's going to feel so good for Yam. Now reassured after seeing the coil onslaught earlier.
Well, if anybody can make a name for themselves, it's Yam. They've done it time and time again, bringing in big-time performances when they really need it. And this is a situation that absolutely cries for one of those kind of things. And bearing in mind that they will be going up against Ghost in loser semifinals if they do beat Mr. Adel, which, let's remember, Yam did beat Ghost in a best-of-3 earlier today, 2-0 in round 2, so Yam will know if they can beat Mr. Adel, they have a very, very good shot
strong chance
of making it to that podium positions, but Adel will bring us back to DNA Labs for another go at this.
Yeah, and now we do have the double roaster on coil. A very dreaded loadout, I would say, just because of how it's always going to give a third roaster as well, and those arms are very fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So,
as mentioned earlier,
it's always scary.
anytime somebody brings the same weapon as a coil, it's like they're not running double, they're running triple, because it guarantees that no matter what happens, it's always gonna be a roaster. So yeah, Mr. Adel using that firepower, but again, remember that it is an unguided arm, but it packs a hell of a punch. And that is 280 damage that they wanted. In fact, the only arm that's not a roaster here is the Ram that Yam is bringing. Not on the Dragon arm, that goes to the roaster. So Yam knows the game plan, but unfortunately, again, Mr. Adel is having the stronger of the two starts.
Yeah, Mr. Adel has been on his start, but has been struggling to keep up with an adapting Yam, which has been his downfall so far. But
And so just the sheer wave of roasters that just come from Coil. It's like,
I mean, no matter what happens, Coil is going to outbox you. Don't try to outbox Coil, he's going to outbox you.
it's like trying to outbox a headlock. Just give up. You can't do that.
Yeah, sidestep, grab her, I don't know, do something, but don't try to outbox her.
Well, Adel does have health lead, but there's 10 seconds left on the clock, and Yam is sensing a last-second pinch around here, trying to dance them around through the tube, but Adel, knowing full well that they've got enough time to do so, gets the heck out of dodge, no further damage taken, and Yam will have to concede the point. And unfortunately, because they tried to go for the rush, it hands Coil the rush advantage.
Yeah, and Coil builds rush so fast as well, especially with those roasters. It's like giving Coil double the rush.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want. An arm weak as well. Yam is probably going to take damage from it. Actually doesn't! The final hit missed!
You gotta aim. There's no aim button on this roaster. Like, you gotta aim.
I think, well, to be fair, Adel has taken that seriously, because look at how quickly Yam's health has gone down since then. Every other roaster has landed, so Adel really took that personally. Yam is already in critical, and Adel already has rush back. This could be devastation for Yam if this goes down, because this will guarantee ourselves a match free. Adel only really needs to hit them with one thing of anything here, and they know it now. They're going to go for the rush. It'll do chip damage and nothing more, but now it guarantees that anything will KO Yam at this point.
Yeah, very nice deflect on the grab here. Yam just doing an excellent job at dodging everything and then gets hit. So, commentator's curse, I guess.
Yeah, it was always going to be something like that, and Adel means that we are going the distance in this match. Mr. Adel takes themselves a point to tie this set up. Well, if you've got if you had a script going into this, just don't even tear it up. Just set it on fire and throw it away, because what is even happening today?
Simple. Paul wrote the script today.
Oh my goodness.
No.
If Slacks wrote the script, we would have like a Power Mummy showcase on Snake Park, which isn't happening. None of these players would agree to do a Power Mummy Snake Park match. Nobody would agree to do that in a winner's final, or a loser's final, or a grand final.
True.
Like, could you imagine we get to the grand finals of the 4th Moshpit, and both of our players who make it to grands go, you know what, let's do the first match as Snake Park. Like, what are you doing? Don't do that! Like, please, go to Name Redacted. No, scratch that. Go to Sky Arena. Sky Arena is a championship winning match, okay? Ah, goodness me. But for the 3rd time in a row...
Again.
So, Yam has a point to prove. Yam wants to prove that they could do it again, but Adel knows that the second they get the ball rolling, don't arm Ditto. Don't arm Ditto. They've armed Ditto. It's Rooster versus Triplast.
I mean, I guess.
Okay then, so
But,
both characters do like this combination, so fair, but also, god damn it.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I can see both arms working very well to knock down the other character, to put them in hard knockdown, but still, you still have Cole having the advantage of getting that 3rd random arm as well, so...
But
you still have to consider that.
But so far, Yam is making it work. Yam has got themselves a lead, and hopefully they can try and keep it to their advantage. In fact, it definitely seems like 3rd times could be the chance for Yam, as they still haven't really taken much damage at all. Adel is already past the halfway mark, both with rush set and ready to go, but Adel is not comfortable in this matchup at all here.
Adel is definitely struggling against that arm setup and just Yam's overwhelming pressure. And Yam's been doing a good amount of work, just blocking, dodging everything. It's impressive, honestly.
And a long-range grab will seal the deal. Yam puts themselves on set point. The Arms Ditto match goes on the side of Min Min for this time round, so Mr. Adel is probably going to have to change something, and does so. It's going to be the Shakram that is going to come on alongside that Roaster. Yam ain't going to switch what ain't broke, and it's going to be the Roaster and Triplast once again, and Adel has to be so careful here. Any kind of damage at this point that they give away to Yam, they will absolutely use against them.
Absolutely. And the pillars are still up as well, so Adel can use that to try and snuff out the Min Min's movement. But then again, it's also very good for Yam because he's gonna play from a defensive position as much as possible against that onslaught.
And it's the last thing Yam needed. They're being pinched into that corner. Now the rush comes out. It's going to be chip damage and nothing more. Arms weak as a result. Yam won't really gain any benefit from it since they already have rush, which is why Adel just kept going with the chip damage just to get that extra little bit of pressure. The arms are finally faded away, but Yam is already on the cusp of critical, and Adel will charge this rush back in no time.
Yeah, once again, Cole charges rush so fast, especially when she has the 3rd arm. Just because one more arm means you just get one more rush charge. And there we go, we are back to even in terms of rush. But yeah, on the back foot here. Hope he doesn't make the same mistake as last time.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is be giving that rush advantage right back to Adel, who has 20 seconds to go to take this to a final deciding point. Has just over half health left on the clock. has 2 tubes, make that 1 tube, and Yam is trying to pin Coil in this corner, gets a roaster hit. This could be a chance to go for a last second rush, but Yam surely won't go for it. 3 seconds on the clock. Maybe, no, they'll definitely not get it from there.
No,
and
they're keeping it.
that's
They
gonna...
still have a round.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep the rush for the start of the next round.
So, it is pivotal. What happens here? Adel is going for the triple roaster. It is literally 1-1 in the set and 1-1 in the match. The winner of this advances to top 4 and takes on Ghost in the loser's semi-final. Who will get the first point damage? It's Yam. Who will get the rush advantage? Well, that remains to be seen, but Yam is starting as they mean to go on. Roaster up on the Dragon Arm. Adel says, screw it, but it's going to be chip damage and nothing more. But crucially, they disarm!
Yeah, no more Dragon Arm here, but the rush back. Yam is completely here to win this at this point. It's going to be a little bit tough for Mr. Adel to come back from this. Although, once again, he's almost at full rush already.
But having said that, crucially, they are on the cusp of critical. Yam has a massive health lead going into 50 seconds. Make that into critical for Adel. And that will do it. The charged up roaster lands. And an incredibly close set. The upset doesn't happen for Adel, but they came hella close. But it's Yam who is going to win this by 2 points to 1 in the end. Close from start to finish. An impressive showing from Adel, but they can't quite make the top 4 on this time of asking, but still, what a set.
Yeah, what a set. Just impressively all around. Mr. Adel being on that pressure game so much. And yeah.
You gotta love that. You gotta love how close this community has been getting. Love the fact that we're getting new players coming on forward and they are showing that they are absolutely worth everything here. They are worth every single bit that we were hoping for. And heck, it's what you want. It's what you want to see. Like, every single time you think that, oh, you know, it's ARMS, you know, it's not really been as active as we'd like it to be, there aren't that many people involved with it, but give it time, give it a few months, and suddenly people will be like, you know what, I could probably play this, and we've had a fine showing from new players here today.
Yeah, very fine showing from all the players here, lots of names that we're going to remember definitely for the next tournaments to come.
So yeah, shoutouts to a lot of them as well. Mr. Adel and Tanji are definitely going to be ones to look out for going forward. I know Tanji got taken out by Mr. Adel in the early stages, but they absolutely went the distance with Yam. Yes, it says 2-0, but that doesn't tell you the whole story of how that matchup played out. And again, Mr. Adel with a run and a half, taking out the likes of Aloria as well on their way here. And that's a big name to be taken out as well. And going the distance with Yam, it again speaks volumes. And it's what we love to see in this community. If they come back for the Vortex Gallery, that will be perfection.
But meanwhile, we are going back into the winner's side with the match between Grimwood and Replicant.
Oh my goodness me. Yeah, it doesn't slow down here, does it? It is going to be Grimwood versus Replicant. We're going to get ourselves a quick little breather here because I think we're going to need it, because when we come back, it is top 3 time. I say top 3 time. We have
Top
to...
four.
That's what I was going to say. We have to determine who will make that last position in top 3, because Yam and Ghost will have to do battle in the underground semi-final. But before that, it's deciding time who's going to make it to Grands. Grimwood or Replicant when we come back in a couple of minutes for the 4th installment of the Mosh Pit.
See you right after this break. I need water.
We are back, my wonderful friends, to the fourth installment of The Mosh Pit, here, live, at twitch.tv/EU_arms. I am back, your girl TK Layla on commentary, obviously alongside Matthias, who once again returns. How we all topped up and ready to go?
Yeah, I am back as well, and I am so excited for our top 4 coming up.
It's been a hell of a journey to get this far, and honestly, what do we even say with what we've seen at this point? We thought, you know what, the first couple of rounds it's going to be calm and easy going, and they weren't. They absolutely weren't. We had a double KO and a draw in the same game that literally opened up this entire tournament. I think since then, it has been the opposite of calm. It's been complete chaos, and I love it.
Like, we've seen so much. We've seen the coil invasion coming up as well. We've seen all the old guard dropping like flies. Like,
yeah, it's been a story and a half.
It's a trip. It's a trip. And I hope you're all here and ready to go on that boat with us, because it is not stopping anytime soon, with winners finals coming up.
Yeah, winners final between Grimwood and Replicant. Remember that Rafa, the reigning champion, is not involved in the mosh pit this time round, so we're guaranteed a brand new winner. Will it be Grimwood, who has never been outside of the top 4, or will it be Replicant, who is entering the top 4 for the first time in the mosh pit series, looking to try and go all the way into Grands and really upset the balance here?
We are seeing quite the shake-up today, and I love it. We all love it here. And please give me some hype for winners finals here in chat. Yay! I try my best. This is a text chat. So
yeah, we're not the Thunderdome, unfortunately. We can't just inject audience noise there. It would be nice, but we definitely can't do that. But we are ready.
I mean, we could have a soundboard.
Oh, don't start that. I don't want to hear that in the slightest. So, from here on out, I say from here on out, there's still one more best of 3 to take care of, but for the time being, it is our first best of 5 of the day. It is Grimwood on the left-hand side of your screen as Maximum Brass. They'll be going up against the Replicant as the Lola Pop. It is Shakran Popper versus Lockjaw and Roaster.
Roaster! What is this set? I am very scared of this set from Replicants.
So, the Popper, let's start with that. Lightweight, quick, immediate, straight to the point, but can be punched through by anything, which is what Replicant is relying on. The Lockjaw, very unique arm to bring to the table. It fires off a fireball when Jaw dead falls on in with the rest of that good old skull goodness. It's going to be Grimwood who's on pressure on the left-hand side for the time being. Replicant really bringing in a set that is confusing Grimwood just a little bit and actually keeping them on the back foot.
It's definitely not a set you see that often. Obviously, Replicant is well versed in using that Lockjaw, but it is more of a surprising pick. And however, the Max Brass is going to punish that rush attempt with his own rush.
I mean, if it works, it works, and it does mean that Replicant, well, was not leading, but now with a knockback like that, pretty much ties that health up quite nicely. Don't start winners final off with a draw. You two. That would be pretty funny. And Grimwood on the cusp of critical already. 10 seconds left on the clock. Replicant has to get another hit in and does so. 5 seconds on the clock. Now get the heck out of there. Replicant. Brass is scarier in this mode. Grab. Ducked. What a beautiful bounce from Replicant, and it takes the point.
What a dodge. Very good bounce here. Avoiding the grab and avoiding the absolute destruction, I guess.
Dodging the absolute terror that critical Max Brass is. And that's one of Lola's handy dandy abilities to jump a lot higher than a lot of other characters genuinely do. Just that lovely bouncy nature from our wonderful dear clown. And it absolutely worked perfectly for them. Grimwood did not see it coming. Now going to come in with double nades. Well, I think it's safe to say that Grimwood is not pleased.
No, Grimwood is angry at this result. Missing that grab just gets on his nerves, and now he's just putting on the pressure. But Replicant is not getting hit that much right now, so...
No, not earlier. Replicant's playing a very patient game here so far, and Grimwood, again, the nades are hard enough to hit as it is. Just like the verses, they are all manual guidance. They do kick in with a lot of extra power as a result, but crucially, it's all manual aim, and Grimwood finally starting to chain those hits in. But again, Replicant just shielding on up, biding the time, still rocking with that lockjaw and trying to get any kind of purchase with that, and knowing full well that if they can land with the rush, especially with the lockjaw, it can do a lot of damage, which is why Grimwood crucially needs to keep on top of this.
This is very even so far. Grimwood does have a slight health lead, and we're seeing a much less aggressive game overall. Obviously has to slow down the game much more due to the defensive nature of Lola. But here's the counter rush and the trade, and yeah, okay, that's gonna be in Grimwood's favor.
Yeah, Grimwood will absolutely end that with a point, tying this up nicely. Unfortunately for Replicant, they got the initial hit, but the fireball missed, and Brass was always going to get the better of the exchange afterwards. And so, as a result, Grimwood straight back on into the side of things. But obviously, as we know, not over yet. Replicant will continue with the lockjaw, but Grimwood, I was about to say, is getting a better feel for it. Switches to the shaft ram and immediately gets taken down.
Definitely looking for a little bit more of a confirm here, I guess. But it's also very good in order to curve around what the Replicant dishes out overall, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely a good call for that, but so far it has not quite been working to Grimwood's advantage. The nade has been successfully repelled by Replicant. They have got a decent head start on the damage side of things, obviously both with rush set and ready to go, but Replicant needs to not have a misfire like they did last time round. If that lockjaw can at least land, that will be a lot of damage, especially if it is on the rush side of things, whereas Grimwood knowing full well, as long as the chakram can curve around and hit, they can absolutely take full advantage of the situation.
The situation is definitely very tense right now, with the advantage by Replicant, and once again Brass winning that rush exchange in order to almost even it out. There's a slight lead again for Replicant, but not that much, not so much that it can't be made up.
Yeah, and again, Grimwood keeps that pressure alive. These are evenly matched so far. And Replicant finally gets tagged down into critical. Grimwood on the cusp of it. We know how this went last time round. These two made it into this position, and Grimwood is having none of it. Rushing into the corner, and that is how you seal the point.
Rush is just going to confirm that win here. Very well played by Grimwood, securing that first point.
It was exactly...
And just before we move on to the next round, next match, I just want to say something. Heavy is awake, so please welcome Heavy in the chat.
Hopefully you've been doing well. You've been getting involved with a lot of shenanigans as of late, and we are incredibly thankful for all that you do.
Very thankful for what you do, Heavy.
So, with that being said, Grimwood starting things off with that initiative, fell behind a little bit but got to grips with Replicant's nature and finally able to bring it back to a bit more of a square footing for them, but still a long way to go. Remember, this is the first best of 5 of the evening, so yeah, this is going to be, yeah, first of 3 now. It starts to spice things up, and you can tell it's starting to get dark because it is 7 in the evening here, and we still have at least 3 other matches to do after this, so we're in this for the long haul here.
We are, once again, this car is not stopping anytime soon. We're just not gonna crash. Like, I swear we're not gonna crash.
Well, I'm used to this. This is literally my job. But like my job is full-time casting. This is just what I do.
True. I just meant like we're just speeding. We're speeding through this bracket, and what a bracket it has been so far.
And we're going to start off with Grimwood in Mausoleum, immediately getting a quick time grab, sending Replicant straight back down, who's coming in with the Phoenix and the Roaster. So far, not quite able to make it work just yet. The Tribal and the Chakram, it's an all-stun loadout for Grimwood, and
I
it's...
like the old stun loadout in this situation in order to kind of stop Lola from having her way overall and getting all of those confirms like that grab right here.
Yeah, they're just bossing this at this point, and already with the rush set and ready to go, which, to be fair, when you have a health lead like this, you kind of don't really want to use the rush, because you just feel like you could take it into the next point if you can keep this momentum going, but never take anything for granted in this game. Replicant has managed to worm their way back time and time again, as we've seen already. So, Replicant trying to bait something out, but unfortunately it's going to be Grimwood who catches them off guard with another grab.
Very good jump into grab. Very good dodge overall. And Replicant starting to do something to claw his way back in. But no, Grim is just going to use the rush to seal it out.
Yeah, just decides, you know what, may as well. I feel like I can comfortably take this, and whilst they will have to charge it back, Replicant does have the rush advantage to their name. Grimwood tried to start with a starting grab, but Replicant a bit too savvy for that, and immediately reads into it, takes the first bit of damage, but they've got to do a fair amount to keep Grimwood from having a 2-0 lead in this set.
I feel like when you've got two players like Grimwood and Replicant who have played each other so much, it gets very interesting in terms of mind games, because they're like 6 levels of mind games above everyone else. When when you just have two players who just get to play each other so often.
Yeah, it's hard to try and mix things up sometimes when you're so used to how your opponents end up being because of the countless matches that you have. And both with rush set and ready to go, Grimwood charged up quite nicely. Replicant just has not been able to get into a comfortable spot to fire it on off. They fire it now, but it's too late because Grimwood bides their time and counters with a rush of their own. Replicant past the halfway mark, and Grimwood looking a little bit more comfortable. Stun into grab confirm, and Replicant into critical.
Grimwood has been on the stun loadout. It's been working out very well for him in the second match, getting those confirms consistently, and getting all that big damage from Max Brass as well. Here's another grab, that's gonna take it.
Yeah, another big time grab, a good old hug, as Malieve used to like to say. A big old hug from big old Brass, and it's gonna give Grimwood a 2-point lead in this best of 5 winners final.
I think, honestly, if I were Replicant right now, I would probably go back to Lockjaw, because Lockjaw wasn't working pretty well overall in that first match. And it's still very good for mixing up the timings overall. So we'll see if he does that or if he does something else. I mean, I'm not the player, so
Well,
we'll see.
I was going to say, these two know full well what they want to bring to the table, and Replicant back into the loader, back to Temple Grounds. What is going to be the arm loadout? That is going to be the question for the Lola. The Lockjaw is still there, so is the Hydra and the Roaster, so nothing really changing at this point in time. Replicant is comfortable with these arms, wants to showcase what they can do. And again, Lockjaw and Roaster will be the culprit, immediately tagged by the ankles via that tribal.
Yeah, Grimwood has, once again, I'm not surprised Grimwood didn't change his arm loadout, even though we did go to Temple again, because it was working so well on Mausoleum, making pretty much Mausoleum into a very big corner that he could just put his pressure on. And once again, with that armor, just dishing out all of these stun arms, gotta be very careful about that on Replicant's side.
Replicant taking a lot of beating here, and in fact another stun straight into it as well. Tries to rush through. Grimwood activates their rush as well to scare Replicant off, and just again the slight bit of movement from Brass gets themselves into an optimal position. Couldn't quite finish off with the polish on the grab, but it doesn't matter. The tribal gives them set point.
We're talking about high level mind games. This is definitely what happened with this rush, with one activating the rush, the other activating in response. You had a Replicant scared, so he tried to block whatever wasn't coming, but nothing wasn't coming, so he tried to do something, and then Brass just dodged out of the way and punished. What a play.
Great stand-in once again for Grimwood. Takes the early bit of damage, but that will not phase them in the slightest, and you know that for a fact. The Hydra is going to come out to try and add in that little bit of extra firepower, but so far, Grimwood again, another quick little 1-2 chain, takes Replicant down for the time being, both with Rush available. But Grimwood, it feels like they have Replicant's number in this matchup.
Yeah, it feels like Replicant is an open book to Grimwood, and those Tribolt, this Tribolt is doing so much work right now, especially against that Hydra overall. He's gonna get hit there, but nothing too major.
He needs to be a little careful though. Obviously, Replicant running in with that full-on firepower. If any of those kind of things do hit in that charged up state, they will take Brass out of it. Doesn't matter how heavy you are, you will just be a sitting target to the fire elements. Replicant being a little bit more wily here, goes for the rush and actually gets it this time round. 190 damage, juggles on up, gives them a little bit of a health lead. 20 seconds still on the clock, and Grimwood can still bring this back because we know Grimwood has done this time and time again. But Replicant using the last bit of pillars for an extra little advantage, and with 8 seconds left to go, Replicant could still yoink a point, but Grimwood is determined to end this 3-0. That, I think, will give Replicant the point.
I believe so, but I'm not sure. Yes, just enough for Replicant to get that point and get away from a sticky situation where he would be back into the losers finals.
I mean, it's still not over yet. They still need to get another point here to keep this set alive, and so far starting as they mean to go on incredibly aggressive in the early stages, having that rush confidence as well, goes for it, but unfortunately missing it this time round. Nothing that Replicant could do in that situation. Grimwood is just gonna bide their time, and now it's their turn, but it runs into another solid Hydra hit from Replicant, and this is their moment to shine. They are determined to see this through, but unfortunately the rush will hit.
Ooh, the parry! The parry is going to allow that rush to hit, and just overall I feel like Grimwood has been very good at dodging and just being aware of what Replicant dishes out. He does get hit a lot, but Grimwood, just being on the top of his game right now, wants to make sure that he gets that 3-0 right here, right now. Rep on critical.
Yeah, has to go for the rush, and this actually could steal it away from them. The Lockjaw has done a lot of damage. Grimwood on 1 HP.
1 HP!
Grimwood into critical. 1 damage from anything will take Grimwood out, but 1 damage from anything will take Replicant out. Don't end this in a double KO. Grimwood can't get the hit. It's chip damage and nothing more. The Hydra lands. The Hydra hits and Replicant says, not just yet. I've still got a bit more fight in me. It's 2-1 in winners final.
Replicant saving his life in this winners finals. We are going to game 4.
Goodness me, it is never over until it's over, and this is going to be one heck of a showdown between these two, and this is just winners final. We've still got a couple more matches to go after this before we even make it back into Grand, so Replicant is giving us one hell of a showing right now as we go to Buster Beach.
I won't say anything about the Buster Beach stage because I feel like it might be a little bit of a comfort pick to an extent, but I wonder, yeah, the nade is actually brought out again on Grimwood's side. Understandable. It's a very good arm to catch Lola off guard overall, but Lola has a nade of her own, I think.
Yep, Lola does indeed have a nade of their own, and they've got that Lockjaw still coming on in swinging, but the Tribolt, well, got the initial stun, but couldn't follow up to get any further damage, and Replicant is slowly turning his back against Grimwood here. Grimwood's stuck in the lower part of the stage for the time being, and Replicant with rush advantage. Grimwood will have it in just a moment, but they can't seem to get into the center stage. Now they get the knockdown. Now they'll start coming in charge, but again they back it on up. It feels like they're being a little too respectful of Lola here.
You have to be respectful of Lola to an extent, but then again, you also have to know where to punch. So it's gonna be very tricky overall. It does get the arm break, does not get much off of the arm break, unfortunately. But now Grimwood is in critical, and now we've got the max brass.
Yeah, that big old intimidation aura from Max Brass, and they are just throwing in everything, knowing full well that they're all charged up. It's explosions and it's stuns for days, and Replicant trying to just slow Grimwood out, slow this absolute volley, but the grab is going to come through, and that's big time damage. Enough to knock Replicant into critical condition. Grimwood knows if they can hit anything with this, they'll yoink it, and they do so with the rush. It's just enough damage, but can a grab feel it? No, it won't. Grimwood just about to stay in the air enough for the grab to not connect, and it puts Grimwood back on set point.
This has to feel good for Grimwood. After such a tense round, it has to feel very good. And now we've got the double nade on deck.
Yeah,
it's time for the flurry.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but the Lockjaw is coming in clutch for Replicant, doing more damage against Grimwood than I think they would really like to. And obviously, Replicant does start with the rush advantage, but the nade again just takes Replicant down a little bit further, caught in midair again, and this is what Grimwood is relying on, that AoE explosion from both of those nades. Replicant will find a fire on through, but unfortunately the Lockjaw didn't hit with the rush.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I was about to say the Lockjaw has been pretty much the MVP of this match for Replicant, but that miss is going to be very unfortunate, and not getting the full rush is going to be critical. Does get the grab, but it's still very even, and Grim has the rush advantage as well.
Yeah, Replicant does at least have lead on their side, but we know that can quickly change with Grimwood now into critical. It's buff up time for the Brass, and there's 35 seconds of this volley that is coming their way. Nade is going to break on through. A little bit of damage from the Hydra, not once but twice. Gives Replicant a little bit of breathing space, but Grimwood knows as long as they can hit the rush, they'll take it, but they cannot afford to take another cool sliver of damage from Replicant. Rep goes for the rush. Grimwood goes for the rush as well. It'll be shield, chip damage, nothing more than that. Replicant trying to hold on and gets the KO!
This was such a tense match here. Once again, we're going to round 3, but those health bars have trouble going down on both sides overall, and they almost go down at the same time.
Arm weak already on the right hand side for Grimwood going into this. In fact, arm down by Replicant, and they fully take advantage of it with the Lockjaw stringing on in.
Here. Okay, sorry.
It's fine. It's easy to get excited here because they're in full well that we could be going to match 5 if Grimwood can't shut Replicant down. It's all hype all of the time, and that is gonna be another setback for Grimwood. Replicant has rushed. Grimwood will have it in just a moment, but the rush will come out. It doesn't hit. Replicant needed that to hit crucially because that puts Grimwood into critical.
Yeah, the chip damage is just going to be enough to put Max into critical, getting this buffed up state. But Rep does still have like a 50% health lead, so anything is still possible. And yeah, Rep does take this game 4, forcing into game 5. We're going all the way today. We're going all the way.
2-2 in winners final, with Grimwood having had a 2-0 advantage, and Replicant has pegged it all the way back. Can you believe the scenes we're seeing here in the mosh pit? And this is just to determine who makes it to Grands. This isn't even the finale.
This is such a great match and so close. Anything can happen. Rep can actually pull out the reverse trio. Grimwood could just end it here and get to grand finals. Either way, both are in top 3, both are getting paid, but who's going to be paid most?
This is going to be dangerous. This is going to be very dangerous, and we have confirmation that the final stage in this set is going to be Mausoleum. So, goodness me, which way do we swing? Now, bearing in mind, Grimwood could be picking Muzzle to go coil. No, they don't. They're sticking with the brass.
They're sticking with the brass.
So, Grimwood's determined to make this work with brass. Replicant determined to do the unthinkable, the reverse sweep, having been 2-0 down to Grimwood, who has been on fire all tournament. Well, this would be quite the stir-up if this were to happen right here and now. But Mausoleum, Grimwood takes the initial sliver of damage, but that's nothing in the grand scheme of things, and we know it. Replicant gets volleyed by the nade. Grimwood actually bringing in a fun chuck for a change, and that will definitely keep Replicant on their toes.
Yeah, the farm chuck is quite an interesting arm in my opinion. Very underused if you ask me. Just because it is a pretty interesting arm in terms of direction, and it does stun, which I feel is very good. But unfortunately, Replicant is not going to get that rush here.
No, Replicant doesn't get the rush when they needed it to, but Grimwood didn't get the nade connection after the stun either, so they're both having some slight errors, and the rush again not going to come through for Grimwood either. Replicant tries to get them caught on the counter, but not going to happen just yet. With just over 35 seconds left to go, Replicant does have health lead, but an aid like that will quickly change things around.
We can see the pressure building up on both sides. Especially since this is not just a friendly tournament with no special thing whatsoever. It's not just for PR, there's money on the line here. The pressure is building on, and we can see that in both players. Making some slight mistakes from either side, but overall we are still getting some amazing play here. The rush!
Replicant, no, not quite, not quite. Replicant got the punish on the rush. They concede the point, but crucially, they start this point with rush advantage. So Grimwood will know they're in set point again, but they've been in set point for 3 games in a row and they haven't been able to convert it. So Replicant, knowing full well what's at stake now, could still yet swing. A little bit of a surprise, but not if Brass has anything to say about it. Starts off the better of the two.
Replicant has been playing on the back foot this entire set, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does it. However, he's going to get that rush knocked out very quickly. Now Grimwood is in rush advantage as well as health advantage. This is getting very dangerous here.
Yeah, and that I think will do it. That will surely do it. Not quite. Replicant pretty much
enough.
1 hit away from going down. Surely there's nothing Replicant can do. Not even they can turn this deficit around with just under a minute left to go. Grimwood knows it's one more hit. There is the final hit. It's the first perfect of the entire tournament. There will not be a reverse sweep. It ends Grimwood 3, Replicant 2.
And Grimwood is absolutely free right now, waiting in grand finals for their opponent. He can breathe.
Oh my goodness, what a set we just witnessed between these two. Replicant, who has been all over the place as of late, bringing that consistency back, showing that not only have they still got it, but taking Grimwood all the way to match 5, having been 2-0 down. Grimwood must have been sweating a little bit, but Mausoleum was comfortable for them in the end. But what a showing from Replicant. They absolutely came out of the box swinging. They went 2-0 down, and sometimes you sort of like get that you get that feeling where it just isn't meant to be, but not Replicant. Replicant refusing to let anything die, and what more can you want?
Yeah, Replicant just refused to die this entire set. What an amazing match from both players.
It's what you want to see. It's what you want to see in any esport, in any fighting game tournament. You want things to go down to the wire. You want things to be as unpredictable as possible. And speaking of unpredictability, I have no idea how this match is going to go between Yam and between Ghost. Because...
Once again, we are back. We are back with our coil invasion. Will Yam snuff it out completely, or will he fall to Ghost? This is a very good question we're going to find the answer of right now.
Oh, it's gonna be exciting. Of that, there will be no doubt. Ghost has had some interesting matchups, and let's remember, Ghost knocked out Iceman, who has, up until that point, never failed to make top 4 in Moshpit. So it speaks volumes. They have the potential to cause another upset. But will Yam allow them to do so?
The red hair coil and the DNA lab. It's like fighting at home.
So, Yam on the left hand side of your screen, Min per usual, Phoenix and the Ice Dragon. Ghost as the coil. Coming in, we have that good old Boomerang alongside the Triblast. We know full well that we'll see random variants of both of those popping on up as that charge comes through. And it's going to be Ghost who gets that initial bolt hit, sending Yam into the corner. Gets caught by the Phoenix on retaliation though. So Yam knows full well what it's like to go up against the coil. They literally had another best of 3 match with them earlier. But can, crucially, Ghost get a bit of revenge? Remember, Yam won their previous encounter by 2-0.
Yam has been very much tearing through all of these coils. He's been the coil killer of this tournament.
And able to get away with the rush.
Yeah, he's
man.
warmed up at this point.
You'd certainly feel that way, wouldn't you? But Ghost is starting to bring this back a little bit. Able to keep the health advantage for the time being, and every arm that swings on out that Yam can't quite take advantage of, it's allowing Ghost to charge that rush up bit by bit. And the trade hits are not helping them in the slightest, and Ghost, despite losing 2-0 to Yam earlier, is really coming out with a vengeance here. 25 seconds on the clock, they have a massive health lead. Finally, the Ice Dragon will slow them down, gives Yam enough time to get the Phoenix charged back up, and this is where Yam excels. They always exceed incredible under pressure, but they pop the rush too early!
Unfortunate. Failed to get that confirmed, but he still has the Dragon Arm, and unfortunately he's gonna get KO'd here.
Well, the initiative goes the way of Ghost, and Yam immediately tries to double on back to get that roaster charged up ASAP. They know they're gonna need to do so. Gets them caught square with the roaster, but Ghost not taking kindly to that, but won't get anything with the rush either. Tries to take advantage, but Yam getting a really good read on that. Still taken down, still gets disarmed. So Ghost keeps themselves in contention, but they cannot afford to be caught out by this roaster there, because again, another consecutive hit from that.
The roaster doing a lot of good for Yam right now. Catching Ghost off guard again and again, especially at full charge, thanks to that Dragon Arm.
And Ghost...
And a good rush here.
Yeah, Ghost unfortunately dropped the shield at the worst possible time, and Yam took full advantage of that. So Yam now with the health lead on their own side of the field, with Ghost deep into critical territory. They cannot afford to be giving Yam any more of an advantage here. Ghost now has rush charged up, set and ready to go. Yam won't be too far away from it. Another successful Triblast hit. Can Ghost keep Yam pinned against the wall? That is going to be the question. Yam no longer has that Dragon Arm to boot.
Yeah, Yam now still playing with the great advantage. He does not have rush yet. He's going to get it now. And he's going to be able to get that KO, pick it up on Ghost, freeze them, and get to round 3.
Final round coming on up in our first matchup of Lewis's semi-final. This to determine who makes it to the podium and who misses out on the prize pool by the slimmest of margins. Rush will come out from Yam, but Ghost has it successfully read. Drop the shield at the oddest time there. Unfortunate that goes down, but they'll come back with a rush of their own and get all of the damage. 270. That puts them a little bit more comfortably in the lead.
This is not the most damaging rush, but mentally it's still gonna hurt. So we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, and Yam really being pinned into the corner now, and without their Dragon Arm, they can't really seem to get a way out of this, and Ghost finally getting the shield up against that roaster, not falling foul to it as they did in the second point. Another successful bolt hit, and guess who has rush? Yep, it's Coil, and that will be a KO. Surely it won't. No, it won't.
KO.
It's
No,
not
quite.
enough. One more point of damage for Yam, and that's the worst possible spot that Yam is in right now.
Yam is completely stuck in the corner with 1 HP. This is going to be very tough, and yeah. This is going to be over.
And that is that. So whatever happens, the score will not be the same between these two. Yam has conceded a point against Ghost when it matters most. It's 1-0 on the side of Ghost. Surely another upset cannot be happening in this competition.
I mean, imagine if, but we've seen a lot so far, so anything can happen. This is the mosh pit. Anything can happen, apparently. And we are going to Mausoleum.
Oh no! Don't take Kyle to Mausoleum! I mean, on one hand, I can see what Yam is trying to do. Yam is very comfortable at Mausoleum. They know as long as that trampoline does not play a part, they can keep Coil on lockdown.
Yeah,
but
that's the key word. If that trampoline goes in, then it's just Coil territory for days.
There's not going to be a Hydra for Yam, so they are sticking with their tried and trusted, and Ghost is going for the triple toaster. So Yam has got to be incredibly careful, because if any of those hit charged, Yam will immediately lose that Phoenix on the Dragon Arm. It's going to be a crucial match here for Yam.
This is going to be very tense, and once again, we're talking about not outboxing Coil. With the toaster, it's even worse because of that auto aim, even if it does a little bit less damage.
I mean, Ghost will be rocking in with that fire element, knowing full well that they'll want to use it against Min Min, whatever happens, and the rush will come out initially for Coil. 290 damage, immediately charge up and flings the Folly out, and Yam already looking a little uncomfortable, and bearing in mind the longer they stay on that middle platform, the more incentive Ghost will be to try and get that knockdown.
Yeah, and it's just, you see that flurry of rush, honestly. Ghost is doing an excellent job at putting on the pressure with these toasters. Just making sure that that Min Min doesn't get that Dragon Arm for free.
Yeah, and you can see Yam holding on to that Phoenix for dear life, trying to get it charged up, but Ghost has just pinned them in against the wall and keeping them there. And not only that, keeping that central area as well. Arm weak on the right-hand side. Both will have rushed, but with 13 seconds left on the clock, Ghost has such a health lead. I don't think even Yam can turn this around at this stage. Nothing is landing. Ghost is just getting the shield up time after time after time. And that's the worst way! That's the worst way to end! The trampoline's up!
Now the trampoline's gonna be up for the next 2 rounds. And it's going to be very difficult for Yam to get his way, especially against a Coil that has been dodging everything consistently during that first round.
Yeah.
And here's the rush here, getting the first damage here, 270 damage.
Big time damage for Ghost, who must be feeling confident now, and Yam knows they've got it all to do. Parasol in hand, Roaster on the Dragon Arm. They know they have to go swing because Ghost is not going to switch up this strategy at all. The trampoline will just intensify it. And Yam, with very little movement to deal with now as a result, tries to go for the jump, but Ghost is fine with that. Catches Yam in mid-air, but the rush is not going to happen with anything with that. Ghost gets caught a little bit. It gives Yam enough time to charge the Roaster up. Maybe still a hope, but there's a long way back, and actually gets the shield against Coil.
Ghost has been very interesting with when he does drop the shield against those rushes, I will say. He's been caught by the latter half of the rushes most of the time, even when he was blocking the first half.
And now the Roaster on the other side of the field is starting to deal the damage. Ghost has been pegged level here with Yam. And Yam, shockingly, with the trampoline up, is actually more comfortable here, would you believe it? They have Rush set and ready to go. Ghost is not quite there, but a toaster hit will disarm Yam from the Dragon Arm. That's the last thing they wanted. 16 seconds left on the clock. It is all going to come down to who nets it. The grab is going to hit. That's going to give Ghost the lead with 10 seconds to go, and Yam knows they're going to have to go for it. Another long-range grab. The audacity for Ghost to go for that, and that will surely do it. There's nothing Yam could do. Ghost has got their revenge. They're in top 3 in Moshpit by 2 points to 0.
Ghost makes it, just gets in there, gets into the losers finals, beats Yam, the coil killer, and holy crap, what a match! It went all wrong for Yam in that second round. The trampoline was up. He had a little bit of time with the Dragon Arm, but as soon as he lost the Dragon Arm, it was over.
Not gonna lie though, it wasn't fully over. It was close from start to finish on that second point. Yam surprisingly was showing the confidence, the resilience to keep going against that curling. Ghost was actually getting caught in a lot more hits than I was expecting. Just couldn't quite bring it over the line. Unfortunately, two very crucial grabs from Ghost just snatches it away from Yam. Nothing that they could have done in the end. An incredible set from both of these individuals and a hell of a run. Yam knocked Ghost into the underground bracket from round 2 in this tournament. Since then, Ghost has been on a tear. They took out Jiu by 2-0. They took out Yoshi by 2-0. They took out Iceman. The man who doesn't lose the top 4 positions in this mosh pit by 2-0. And now Yam by 2-0 as well. It means it will be Replicant versus Ghost for the podium positions for the prize pool. This is to determine who goes into grand finals against Grimwood and who will end this competition in 3rd place and 10% of the prize pool. What a showing from Ghost and Yam.
It is time for Replicant to show if he can actually beat Ghost's coil, because so far it has been tearing up the tournament in loose bracket.
Well, if anyone can, Replicant can. And I'm absolutely certain we are going to see a hell of a match between these two. It is best of 5 now from here on out. And
I've got some quick news as well.
Oh?
Just dropped. Quarantine Report 4 is confirmed for November 12th to 14th. So maybe we'll see arms there. We're not sure yet, but it is confirmed. It is happening. Another major.
Oh, snap. Well, never say anything can't happen ever again. It is just...
We're getting it all tonight.
We really are getting it all. And remember, the prize pool currently sits, by the way, for Moshpit, I should probably point that out, at €240, which is an amazing amount of money to be going up against in any competition. So, for arms, remember, it is 3rd place will get 10% of the prize pool. 2nd place will get 30%, and 1st place will get 60%. You can still contribute to that if you want to. There is still plenty of time. Let's finish your prize pool in the chat. As you can see, the link is there. Thank you very much, Riffa, who, again, massive shout out to them. They are the ones running things behind the scenes, keeping things nice and smooth, and also involved with all of the promotional materials and getting people involved with not just the EU tournament, but also for NA and also for Japan. It has been fantastic to watch this all from start to finish.
Yeah, and we're going straight into this losers final. We've got Ghost versus Replicant.
Goodness me. Best of 5s from here on out. It's gonna be an amazing showing from these two individuals, and it's going to be the grab immediately on Ghost's side of the field. So where will this go from here as Replicant brings in the Burchuck and the Tri-Bolt to go up against Ghost's Tri-Blast and the Toaster?
Yeah, already Ghost is looking a little bit more worse for wear against Replicant, but then again, he does have the health lead. I think he does need to take the time to adapt to Replicant's play, but he's adapting quick, and so...
Yeah, Ghost is not gonna allow themselves to be on the back foot for too long. 330 damage from that rush. Nice and solid. Puts Replicant on the cusp of critical and gets the shield and dodges away from the rest of it. Taking as little damage as possible. Unfortunately caught out by the 1-2 combo from Replicant. Make that 2 1-2 combos in a row for Replicant. And a grab from Replicant. And just like that, Replicant has turned this matchup on its head.
Replicant has been excellent at making us just get back on our seats, and just showing that he's never out of the competition. He's gonna get grabbed here, unfortunately, but right now his movement is impeccable.
Yeah, being a bouncy fiend, but finally does get caught by the bolts, which is why you bring them against the character like Lollipop. The tribolts just cover so much area. Unfortunately, nothing the Replicant could have done there, I'm afraid. So, it gives the initiative to Ghost, both with Rush on the table, but crucially, it's Replicant who starts the better of the two in the second point.
Yeah, right now, Replicant does have the health lead. Both characters have Rush. Ghost is gonna pop it and even the health out. Very good Rush here from Ghost. And now the pressure is on. Pressure is back on to Replicant.
Well, Replicant was able to do a lot of their damage the hard way without the rush. Remember that Ghost avoided Replicant's rush last time around quite nicely in the end. But these stuns, these chains from Replicant, there's some really good punishes in here. Finally, Ghost gets them knocked down a little bit and is actually almost back up to rush potential. But now Ghost back into critical, really deep into there now. And Replicant know full well that there is a chance to tie this up almost immediately. But they cannot afford to take any more damage here. They're on the cusp of critical, and Ghost, realizing that, tries to go for the rush, but not going to catch them. Chip damage and nothing more.
Very nicely dodged. Yeah, that chip damage, that rush was critical for Ghost, I feel like. Especially now that Replicant has rush advantage. He would have rush advantage probably going to the next round if he gets that round. And yeah, he does.
So one apiece in the early goings for the Underground, the wonderful losers final. And whilst Replicant does have rush advantage, remember this is Coil we're talking about, they'll charge up rush very quickly, and Replicant trying to take advantage, trying to play a little bit of mind games, but the ice had already worn off by the time they started doing it, so Ghost quickly straight back on the aggressive note, and Replicant really bringing their A-game into this. The Birdchuck and Roast are doing wonders so far, just keeping Ghost at bay.
Yeah, Replicant has been very good at keeping Ghost at bay, as you said. Just making sure he doesn't get his way, making sure as well to not break the trampoline, which is critical, allowing him to have the full space of movement on that stage.
Grab gonna be denied as Replicant gets away with that rush and also gets away with that one as well. Nothing that Ghost could do about that one, just pretty much wailing on into a shield, and Replicant is looking like they could take this point, but Ghost is not gonna give it to them that easily. A couple more hits with the bolt and the toaster, and again, Ghost is such a hard target to hit, and again, another solid Triblast hit. And Replicant went from having a pretty decent health lead to watching it start to snip on by though, although they're only looking for one more hit against Ghost, but again, Ghost is just not giving it to them.
Ghost, like, we do have both players having such impeccable movement that they are very hard to catch, which is very nice to see. However, Ghost is going to get caught here and go down. This is going to be first point to Replicant.
Very back and forth match between these two, and this is why they have made it this far into the top three respectively. Grimwood will be watching very eagerly in the grand finals, knowing full well that they will have to take on one of these two incredibly stubborn players. And so far it's Replicant's advantage in the early stages, but we know that anything can change after game one.
It all can change. And especially in the best of 5 format, again, that is more opportunity for adaptation. Ghost can pull out a trick that we haven't seen before yet, but it can go either way.
So, as we get ourselves geared up and ready, it looks like it is going to be a little bit of a change, and actually it looks like I might be in charge of the... No, I'm not in charge of stages. It's not me in charge of stages. No, I was about to say, I'm like, I wasn't the last one in here. Don't you dare start. I know it's not me. So yeah, we are going into DNA Labs, which we've seen Ghost have some fun with in the past. But if Replicant can best them here, it will give them a really good shout at being able to convert a 2-point lead, providing they don't do what Grimwood did and see themselves into grounds. But Ghost will not want to see that one happen. Bringing in the Boomerang and the Triblast gets themselves the knockdown on a very long range grab. How spicy was that?
The Ghost has
has been very good at getting all of those long range grabs. I wouldn't try those because they would get broken easily. But Ghost just manages to land them consistently. And another grab here.
Yeah, it's just time after time here for Coil Ghost. This is why they really like this stage. They can get some moments where you just don't expect them to hit their grab. And somehow they find a way through. Replicant bringing in the Hydra for good measure. They are absolutely going to need it on the stage where Coil can really start to run rampant otherwise. And the Birdchuck will keep their abilities on lockdown, providing they can hit them. But it's Replicant in critical for the time being. First one to get down there. And, well, both with rush in hand. But Ghost has been really patient with this.
Yeah, Ghost has been playing very patiently in this round. Unfortunately, gets hit there, but this is still very even. This is anyone's game at this point. It's just who gets the first hit here is going to get the momentum, and that's going to be crucial.
Yeah, the boomerang finally finds its way through, but the grab retaliation from Replicant means that with just 15 seconds left to go, they're both very close on health. It's Ghost with the slight advantage, trying to get anything from this, try to find a way to disarm Replicant and keep them on the back foot. The Birdchuck does hit. Neither the grab won't, but I think Replicant might have done enough here. Have they? They have! Replicant has done enough to just snag a point away from Ghost, and they will be kicking themselves.
Just that little sliver of health. Just that.
Oh. You could not write this. We are having some absolute, just wondrous matches today. And the rush from Ghost. They did not take kindly to conceding that point. They'll start with the heavy hit. But they've got to keep this advantage going. Replicant will have the rush. But the arm weak on the right-hand side is not going to help their cause.
They absolutely need to keep the momentum right now. Ghost needs to be on Replicant at all times. Unfortunately, gonna get knocked down here. It's gonna reverse a little bit of the situation. And yeah, Replicant is coming back slowly but surely. You don't want that if you're Ghost. You don't want that. You need to find a way to put on the pressure again. And here's the rush, and it's going to land.
250 damage, Ghost into critical. Replicant staying at that halfway mark, and again they just turned the advantage on its head in a moment's notice. And Ghost, well, they can't afford to take a single point of damage, and that's exactly what they'll take. Replicant stealing that initial point has set them up perfectly for a 2-0 lead in losers final.
Replicant looking confident right now. He's done, he has the 2-point lead. He's gonna have to try and keep that, because if Ghost even gets 1 point, I think it's going to be very tough for Replicant in terms of mental to keep in the game and avoid that reverse trio. It's going to be very critical for him to seal it right then and there.
But then again, at the same time, I don't think it will bother Replicant that much. They were 2-0 down against Grimwood, and they were able to bring it back to 2-2. So, honestly, as long as Replicant will know that, providing they don't do what Grimwood did, they know full well what it's like on the other side of the field. So, and this is a fair... And to say that this is going to be a very different fight. Ghost is coming in with a Coolerang and a Roaster. There's a Seiki on the back there for Ghost. This is an interesting arms loadout that the Ghost is bringing into this lab.
He's definitely trying something new, which I can't blame him for. Because now you do have Replicant who's not warmed up for that new setup. It might catch him off guard. So I like the change, honestly. Mixing up things a little bit.
Trying to keep Replicant guessing, but so far it is not working. Replicant has got this on lockdown. Roaster and Birdchuck is just working beautifully for them. Ghost is already down past the halfway mark, and it's all to play for now. Replicant just needs to keep these kind of volleys consistent and strong, and they can absolutely put themselves in the driver's seat trying to get this grand final appearance. Rush will come up from Ghost, and for a change doesn't hit it. In fact, Replicant punishes them, finally gets the grab against them, but that's a lot of health to chunk down now for Ghost.
That is an entire mountain to climb. Even Coil isn't going to fly up that easily. And meanwhile, Replicant is continuing his onslaught. The pressure that Replicant is applying right now is insane.
Yeah, another chill hit finally gets Ghost some kind of levy, 2 chains, and a grab. Puts Replicant on the cusp of critical, would you believe this? From a position where I thought Replicant would probably win this with 10 seconds to go. I was gonna say it's not looking as comfortable, but they finally get the hit where it matters most. Into the corner goes to the coil. And that is set point for Replicant. I was worried about them there, but they got it.
Replicant is just here to make us sweat as viewers, you know?
Oh no!
Making us fear. Oh my gosh!
Somehow Ghost was not able to punish that. Just the right side of the tube for Replicant. Otherwise that...
Just the tube.
Yeah. Just
the tube saved Replicant's life here.
For sure. And this is where you have to remember that the C key is a fully automated arm. It is a full lock-on sequence. And whilst it's easy to cancel out, it's the rush you have to be super, super nervous about. Because if it catches you, the damage is off the chart. But thankfully Replicant will shield that one this time.
Yeah, Seiki, one of the most damaging rushes in the game. Absolutely, but also a little bit of a hard one to land if you do not have the right arm to do so. And that roaster is definitely the right arm to do so.
Yeah, on top of which, Ghost getting caught with that self-destruct as well, which, by the way, for the Seiki, it's even worse, because the self-destruct is an electrical charge, so you can absolutely paralyze yourself, so you have to be incredibly careful. But so far, this pressure is working for Ghost. They have Replicant past the halfway mark, but we saw Replicant bring this back last time around, and again, able to dodge another Seiki rush, which is crucial. Ghost has not hit a single one of those rushes yet.
The rush hasn't hit in a while for Ghost, which is going to be crucial, but he still has the health advantage. Rep does have the rush right now. He's probably gonna keep it for next round if he needs to. But yeah, it's not gonna be winnable without it, and now it's not gonna be winnable with it. So good call saving it. We're going to round 3.
It is still set point crucially for Replicant, and they will not want to see this go into game 4 because they know Ghost will probably try to bring this back much like they did against Grimwood, but it is going to be the rush for Replicant that does manage to get damage on the board and crucially keeps themselves at bay. The Hydra and the Birdchuck, the choice for Replicant, and so far it is working.
Right now Replicant is in a very good position, especially that positioning on the stage. I feel like it's gonna be very good. All the way back in the corner. It's gonna get caught by the Seiki rush here. Not gonna get the full damage though.
The fact that one missile still does 225 is alarming, and Replicant will not want to take that again because already they're at the halfway mark, and that is how quickly it could change.
This is a very scary situation when you're up against that rush and it hits, even if it doesn't hit the full thing.
Yeah. The fact that one missile hit alone does almost as much damage as other normal rushes just tells you everything about the Seiki. And the worst part is, Ghost has it charged up again! Thankfully Replicant counters it, and that is perfectly played. 350 damage, it puts Replicant back in the driver's seat, and a Hydra hit to boot.
Excellent punish from Replicant here. And now Coil is in the corner, and she's gonna be able to get out very easily, but Replicant has to continue his pressure in order to make it. The rush, the Seiki is gonna hit here, but
oh no,
it's going to be very tough. Oh, we're back almost to even. Replicant almost at incredible.
Ghost.
This could be huge.
Ghost has a chance, but they have to hit it, and they can't hit it. They can't hit it, so Replicant will hang on. The Seiki rush had to land, but it didn't. It will not go any further than that. Replicant will win this set by 3 points to 0. And Ghost's incredible mosh pit journey finally comes to an end. A 3-0 defeat to the hands of Replicant. Great from both sides, but Replicant, that experience, that consistency that they bring to the table, paying dividends from them in the end.
He definitely has the matchup experience, and now the Coil invasion is finally over. The chat should probably be happy right now, I guess.
I mean, I'm not happy. I don't get to hear Donna's voice anymore. I like Donna's
True.
voice.
Donna's great.
Oh my gosh. So, with that, Ghost, a round of applause for Ghost in any sense. Making it to the podium positions, having to take out the likes of Iceman and Aloy on the way. Still an incredible showing for them, and seriously, a third place finish, they get 10% of the prize pool as it currently stands as we shape ourselves in to the grand final. It will be the rematch between Grimwood and Replicant. We had a feeling that it would come down to this. And remember that the winners final went the distance, so who the heck knows how this grand final is going to play out.
It could absolutely go to a reset. I would not be surprised if we go to a reset game 10 on this grand finals. Those two players are evenly matched. We are going to see some insane arms gameplay tonight. As one announcer once told it, this is gonna be a match to remember.
Oh, we gotta love it. We gotta love it here. So, I need to actually double check to make sure that I am... No, I am not in control of the stage listing. Thank goodness for that. I don't have that responsibility. Y'all can sort it yourselves. Thank you very much. So, the grand final has come. It will be Replicant, who has made their way from the losers bracket to go up against Grimwood, who has made it through from winners
we have the
final.
Grimwood Kid Cobra
Oh
now.
no.
We've got everything in this tournament.
Don't say that. Grimwood could still yet bring out the coil. You never know. Grand finals is set and ready to go. Replicant on the left-hand side of your screen, coming in with Lollipop, with the Hydra and the Parabola. Grimwood on the right-hand side of your screen, Kid Cobra, the Clapback and the Popper. A tried and trusted combination that can annoy so many people. This is the first match of the grand final.
That clapback is so big on Cobra. You have to be very careful about it because it's going to reflect anything, especially charged. And you do not want to get hit by your own arms.
Oh, especially the Parabola. You get hit with that and you are a sitting target for a very devastating grab from Cobra. But equally as devastating is that grab from Replicant. Able to chip Grimwood down. Wasn't able to get the second juggle because they just hit the floor immediately. So Grimwood will try to get themselves in, but caught immediately on that Parabola. It's such a quick arm when it fires on out the way it does. And Grimwood has to be so careful here because again, another knockdown. Replicant is on another playing field at the moment.
Yeah, Replicant has been doing a great job right now, just making sure that it doesn't have that it does get the point here, but we have the trampoline out so early in the match. It's going to be changing the dynamics quite a bit, I feel like. Although both players are going to be very restricted, and here's the rush from Replicant. Both rush has been popped out. We're going back to even in this round 2. Replicant gets the point.
Yeah, crucially, Replicant got the better of the rush exchange, and that will be that. Initiative goes to Replicant, which is incredibly key early on here. Replicant does not want to be conceding too many points against Grimwood, so it's crucial they start off the stronger of the two. Hydra coming up on alongside the Parabola, and meanwhile for Grimwood, well, the clapback is gone for the time being. That did not work for Grim, and now comes with the Burchuck, which, well, as you can already see, doing a lot more work than the clapback did.
Yeah, Burchuck definitely better at dealing damage than the clapback and getting hits way as well. But against the Parabola, this is still going to be very tough to maneuver around.
Grimwood bouncing on up high with the trampoline, but cannot get anything with the rush as Replicant is just going to sit back, shield on up, and bide their time. And remember that bouncy nature kind of negates the trampoline in a way, so this is why you'll see both of them not really mind so much with the trampoline being on up, but crucially, it's Grimwood who was starting to take advantage, but another rush like that from Replicant quickly brings it back level.
This is so back and forth right now. Could be anyone's game. It's going to be very tough. We do have the pressure coming out from Replicant, and now we do have the pressure from Grimwood. Both are playing from other sides of the stage. I think Replicant is trying to get in right now, but it's hard to tell, honestly.
Yeah, that shot is not going to help Grimwood's efforts at all. 10 seconds left on the clock. They are the ones that have to get a move on here, and the grab is timed to perfection, and Grimwood suddenly with the health lead. 3 seconds left on the clock. If they take no damage, they tie this up. They do tie this up.
Very well played here by Grimwood, knowing what the options were, and Replicant just a little bit too late on that button press, not getting any hit here.
And so we go again. The clapback makes a return and in fact starts off with 280 damage. Replicant tries to come in immediately and actually, what a series of events that was.
Yeah, we just got the actual rush exchange here. Just one rush getting blocked, getting parried, and then into the other rush. Just straight up, we're dealing with a match at 75% instead of the usual 100. That's how it works.
And so we go again. Replicant just able to peg Grimwood down for the time being, but a shock like that, especially that's what the clapback is designed to do. It just flung the power ball straight back into Replicant's face. Nothing that they could do about it. And Replicant finds themselves in critical condition already. Grimwood with their health lead, both with rush available. And you know full well Grimwood will want to time this right, but can't quite do so. The clapback doesn't connect.
Yeah, unfortunate that this rush doesn't connect, but Grimwood still has a health advantage, and Replicant is not gonna find the rush either. So it's pretty much Grimwood's game to win right now. But we've seen Replicant come back from worse.
Yeah, you may have just cursed Grimwood big time here because that shock into grab combination is the last thing Grimwood will want to see right now. They're very close to a rush though if they can keep this momentum up. Replicant knows full well they've got to end this now. A shock, but they missed the Hydra, they missed the Hydra. It couldn't fully punish. They, I think, have health lead for the time being. That might change. Oh, will it? Chip damage, that should be enough for Grimwood. It is enough for Grimwood. Boy, howdy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the game had to think about that for a good 3 seconds before it went, no, Grimwood has enough. And that is going to be initiative by literal pixels on the side of Grimwood. How close can you have this right now?
I almost thought this was going to be another draw. I don't know what I would have done if this were a draw, honestly. These two players are showing that they are evenly matched and they all won that prize pot.
This is just everything you want from any competitive tournaments that you watch. Two of the finest players in this community, in our region, doing battle for a prize pool that is currently sitting at 240 euros, which is a substantial amount of money for an arms tournament, I will tell you that right now. And they are giving it everything they have for your entertainment. As we go into match number 2, it is Temple Grounds. Replicant versus Grimwood continues.
Yeah, we are going into game 2. Grimwood does have a slight advantage and is going to back it to the clapback. Meanwhile, we do have Replicant going with the Hydra Phoenix. Sorry.
It's okay, you got there in the end. I do not blame you. This has gone on for a while. So, Replicant is going to be the first one to take some serious damage on the side, and that clapback really doing damage big time around the Phoenix, and the Hydra just can't seem to get around and be consistent on a stage that Grimwood is really favouring at the moment. Again, grab denied for the time being by Replicant, but again, look at the health deficit already for Replicant. They'll have rush first, but honestly, that really doesn't mean anything right now. Grimwood is rolling in momentum.
Grimwood just applying pressure all around and rolling it in the momentum, as you said. It's just very scary right now for Replicant, especially with that clapback again, blocking everything that comes Grimwood's way. And this Rep is going to take it. We're going to round 2.
Point number 2 up for grabs, and Grimwood knowing full well if they can see this one off, they'll have a 2-0 lead. Again, bearing in mind that Replicant brought that one back last time round. Anything is possible, and both went for the rush, but crucially, Grimwood can't do anything about it. Replicant gets some small consolation, at least make sure that Grimwood doesn't get any kind of damage onto them at the very least.
Yeah, Replicant making sure that it stays more or less even in the damage department. But right now, he's still getting hit by his own arms, being reflected by this giant clapback. Once again, the Phoenix is going to take him down. The zone Phoenix. This is not a situation you want to be in. by Replicant.
Yeah, that-
I said Denise, but like, it's a high roll.
Again, it's okay. It's the grand finals after an absolutely chaotic tournament. I don't blame you in the slightest. But the Hydra and the Parabola, it's a good combination, but that clapback is just becoming an MVP for Grimwood's arm selections at the moment, and the popper just flies on out so quick, so true. Yes, it can be punched through by anything, but it's the quickness that is catching Replicant off guard. But thankfully, they fell on the high ground. Grimwood unfortunately could not get anything else with that rush, and now it's Replicant's turn, and Replicant will get damage.
Look at the full
360, and just like that, Replicant, who has been on the back foot for most of this point, has the lead.
As we were saying, Replicant is very used to playing on the back foot. It's almost his favorite place to be, I feel like, at this point. So I'm not surprised to see him make the comeback, but can he clutch it out and finish it off? That is the question
I
right
don't
now.
think he will, because with 1 second to go, that is 1 point away from being KO'd, and Grimwood quickly turned that back around. 2 points to 0 for Grimwood in the grand final. But remember that this was where they were at in winner's final. Grimwood had a 2-0 lead then and very nearly bottled it. Because Replicant then went on a charge and won 2 points back to back. So you gotta know, Grimwood will have been like, okay, I've seen this before. We will not let Deja Vu get the better of me this time round. Grimwood will want to see this out 3-0.
We've kept saying it the entire tournament. Back foot Replicant is very scary. You do not want to be. You have to be careful, and you do not want to make any mistakes against back foot Replicant.
So, where do we go from here? We go to Ninja College. Well, okay. Alright, Replicant. We see you. We see what you want to do. Lola Pop, a very bouncy character, can take advantage of the high ground shenanigans, but... Oh,
not
wait.
Gonna go to Ninja College, it's banned.
Oh, right. Hang on. Yeah, I just saw same bands, but I didn't see what the previous set of bands were. That is absolutely fine. It is not Ninja College. I blame Replicant for that.
See, Replicant is even mixing us up.
It will be Mausoleum.
I
Mausoleum.
feel like that is a fair pick,
Snake.
honestly.
So we got some people in the chat asking for Snake Park. I made that joke. I made that joke earlier. It was like, we'll not get to the grand finals, and both of our fighters were like, you know what, let's do Snake Park in grand finals. No, I made that joke already. There's no way that will happen between these two. Not when the stakes are this high. So, Replicant. Going back with the Lollipop. They've got the missiles on there if they want to bring them to the table. In fact, they're going to do so. Especially with that clap back on. This is going to be an interesting matchup for Replicant here.
This is going to be indeed interesting because that homie is going to be very dangerous for both sides, I will say. Because against that clapback, anything can happen, and it can blow up in your face as fast as it can blow up in your opponent's face.
Yeah, you saw a good indication of that already. It hit the clapback and immediately made a beeline for Replicant, but crucially, Replicant with 2 explosive arms. As long as any AoE explosion catches Cobra out, it swings the momentum, and so far, Replicant is slowly building this lead up. It's still early days, both with rush available, but the arm weak on the left-hand side tells you the amount of pressure Replicant is starting to pile onto this Cobra.
Yeah, Replicant is just really applying the pressure, but he's gonna get grabbed here. Huge grab for Grimwood here for momentum purposes. Another grab, and it might... No, it doesn't break quite yet the trampoline, thankfully. But now Grimwood is back on the pressure side. Replicant has a 25% life deficit, but nothing he can make up, especially with that loadout.
Yeah, the popper is just not quite landing as consistently as Grimwood would want it to. And again, the arm weak on the left-hand side, but again, the popper finds a way through. 10 seconds left on the clock, and that will do. Grimwood, why would you pop rush, Grimwood?
Yeah,
you had the health lead. Yes, it's championship point, but you've given Replicant rush advantage going into the next point. We know Grimwood could probably still take the point, but it's the last thing you want to be giving away.
It's a crucial mistake. Like, Replicant will probably use that to his advantage to the fullest, and we're about to see that right now.
And Replicant, you can see, trying to bait out a response from Grimwood. If they can get any kind of explosion going with that rush, you know the homie will do big time damage as a result. So Grimwood will know that. They'll have to play this patient. But look, they've already almost got Rush caught straight back up. So this has not really hurt them in the slightest here. There it is. Rush is back up, and Replicant hadn't even gotten into a decent position to fire it on through themselves. The clapback will repel the missile once again. And Grimwood now has the confidence. They know they've got 2 chances to wrap this championship up here and now.
Yeah, this is just crucial at this point. We do have full nuclear coming up indeed, but right now it is so even. The rush is going to land here for massive 355 damage, but not gonna get the full rush here, unfortunately.
But I mean, look at the health. It really doesn't matter. Grimwood is already into critical. I mean, yes, the clapback grab will finally land, and Grimwood still has the rush in the back pocket. But Replicant has health lead, but it's gonna start to become unraveled here, because Replicant is dangerously close to tying up that health lead. Here comes the rush. It lands! The rush lands! It's 200, it's 295 damage! Replicant is 1 hit away from going down. Anything will pretty much do it for them. 10 seconds is left on the clock, and Grimwood, knowing full well the championship is his for the taking, and he will take it with both hands! Grimwood, 3 points to 0. It will not go to distance this time. It is a brand new winner for the Moshpit. It is Grimwood by 3 points to 0.
What an incredible tournament we've had today. Congratulations to Grimwood for taking this, because this was not something that was easily winnable, I will say. Given what we have seen today, this is an exploit. Not an exploit. Whatever. I'm losing my English.
You have watched a tournament that has had it all. It has had everything we could have potentially asked for in any kind of competitive environment. We started off with a double KO draw match, which I still cannot believe even happened, and from there on in, well, it was just gas all the way. We didn't slow down at all. Even when we had a couple of 2-0 matches, they were close. They were always interesting. There was always something going on, and everyone had some amazing performances from start to finish. A massive shout out obviously goes to everybody who took part today. But my word, what a competition it has been.
Yeah, and we also have some news that the price pot right now is at €249.99, meaning that Grimwood will go home with €150.
That's a clap. That's a big clap from anyone step of the world right there. 60%, as you say, goes to first place. Second place for Replicant nets them 30% of that prize pool, and third place, which was Ghost, nets them 10%. Just missing out on that podium, on that prize pool, was Yam, who ended up 4th in the end, but still a fantastic showing from everyone